Other day I said I don't wanna go. I didn't listen to you. No, 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 no. Other day I said I don't wanna go. I didn't listen to you. No, 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 no. Other day I said I don't wanna go. I didn't listen to you. No, 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 no. Other day I said I don't wanna go. I didn't listen to you. No, 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 no. Other day I said I don't wanna go. I didn't listen to you. No, 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 no. Other day I said I don't wanna go. I didn't listen to you.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the RAF Storm Shadows channel, where this time I'm joined by SirPigasus for day 3 of RLCS with Tokyo Tigers. Obviously we have missed the first two games as the inter-services was at the same time, but we're here. The boys are currently 0-2. Pegasus, let's talk about it.
Oh, that's a tough one to start things off with. First of all, it's an absolute pleasure to be on the broadcast. I haven't been on this specific stream before, so thank you all for welcoming me so nicely. But we do have a team here of Cash, Grammar, and Pluvo. Pluvo and Grammar, of course, I'm very familiar with, having formerly casted for Team Hosky in RLCS 2024. So glad to see them back playing together alongside, of course, Cash, who's coming out of a very, very short retirement here, Cedric. It's not been the best of starts today. I did actually manage to have a look at both of those matches because, of course, the first match being Gentlemates, they have a team stream. The second match being against Milkadrongen. I tried my very best. I know it means the Milk Boys. I do know it means the Milk Boys. I got to watch their stream as well. And in all fairness to them, Trebler was playing really well in that series. And his teammate HP had a really nice goal where got some very good control to get one of the final goals. That was kind of a nail in the coffin for that series. But those games are over now, Cedric. And this is the part where you've just got to look ahead. You've got to look at those teams that are going to be entering that O2 bracket where we find ourselves. The likes of Vosa Esports, Espiros. We don't know who it's going to be between Bills Balls and Chippy Chips, but I feel like we said that it looked like it was going to be Bills Balls going down there to join those ranks. These are teams which I think on paper, if we're looking at the talents we have on this roster, should very much be beatable. I would say that the top of this group is extremely difficult, but when you get to the mids and the lower ends, this is all very much in range here for the Tokyo Tigers.
Of course, and for the Tokyo Tigers, they need to now reverse sweep the bracket, essentially. So it's now win or we're done. So hopefully we get some nice draws. Obviously we had to play one of the best teams in the pool to start. And then maybe the second game, maybe we were expected to win that, but either way, this is where Stelios will come in as their mental coach and sort of bring their heads level, ready to win. So fingers crossed. We've got 3 more series for you. And yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to it. I know what these boys are capable of, so good things to come.
Absolutely, and with that first match being against Gentlemates, they'll have 2 wins to their names. They've just come off the back of course, beating the Tokyo Tigers and beating Babrito Bandito, and that can only be good for our BU score, which should mean we get an easier matchup here. I'm looking at the table right now, and I feel like it's projecting us to play against Vosa Esports or Esbiros, with a slight favouring towards Vosa Esports, I believe, between those 2 rosters. And those are 2 teams where, I'm sorry, I've got to back the Tigers against. Vosa, they've had a really strong run to get to this point. I believe it was a Game 5 OT. It was a very close series to even get themselves in this position in the first place to end their second day. That's a team of Shuya, Nolta, and Dino. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, Cedric. The fact that they made it this far already is extremely impressive, and that's not me giving any disrespect to those players. I mean, their seeding really says it all alone there, Cedric. And I think you were saying some of the players themselves were joking about, what a pleasure it is to be in the top 32.
Yeah, I saw a tweet about it. I think it was Dino. He just tweeted a picture of his MMR saying the lowest MMR player to ever make day 3, which I think is about 1730, which for those who don't know is like at the very bottom end of GC3.
What?
Which is very impressive. So, but I think he has got a bit of history in the bubble scene, so it explains a lot. Maybe just not a grinder.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a name that I'm familiar with. I've seen him around quite a fair bit, but just not in this top 32 position in, of course, the toughest region in the world. So it is going to be quite the matchup if that is what it ends up being. I have seen some reshufflings here on the table, so instead we might be facing Espiros instead. We'll talk about those players as well. It's full Spanish. It's Nashiti, Rife, and Denisinho. I have actually witnessed Nashiti playing before in a few bubble tournaments. He's fairly strong. I want to say that he's been the won third player in a few Benelux tournaments before. I'm not going to say that with full confidence. He's definitely played in a few monthlies as well. So definitely one of those up-and-comers from the Spanish side. I've liked seeing so far in the RLCS 2025 season. A lot of these regions that used to have such big names in the scene starting to build up their talents again. I feel like Spain has been one of those countries. Italy has certainly been one of the countries, and all the Scandi countries as well, getting back involved in EU, just fighting back a bit against what has been French domination, if we're being real, in Europe at the moment. Also, of course, some English talents like you'll see here for the Tokyo Tigers.
Absolutely, and the game has come through, and it is going to be Esperos that we do play. So we played them actually in day 2, first match, and yeah, Nishiti was very, very impressive. He was definitely the standout player for them. Definitely one to watch out for.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I've, like I said, seen him play on a few occasions. I feel like offensively, that's where he has a lot of his dangers. I mean, when you're named after a blade, you've got to be a little bit offensive there on the pitch. And I feel like that's exactly what we've got to come to expect here from this next series. I feel like this was going to be the perfect matchup as well for Tokyo Tigers after coming off the back of those 2 losses, especially that last one. We spoke a little bit off camera. We said would be a little bit of a dampener. I feel like they would have backed themselves in that series heading into it. Of course, there is the hype of Trebler, especially since he achieved a fantastic result in the EU 1v1s that have opened up here, especially for the RLCS 2025 season. Also got very established talents with Mats Gray on that roster as well. And HP, who has grown to impress me quite a lot. But Tokyo Tigers, there's establishment here. There is the Cannon. There is Pluvo. There is Grammar, who has become a very high flyer, especially in that last season of RLCS, where he was getting a bunch of top 16s. I feel like he's starting to become a bit more of a household name when it comes to that regard. And, well, of course, that's going to have to be continued here today with a reverse Swiss.
Indeed, and yeah, Grammar's one of those players with so much individual talent. It's just trying to unlock it to work with that 3v3 style of play. And he's I think he's one of the players on this team which has maybe the player that has the highest potential out of all 3 of them. His mechanics, his 1v1 experience just lets him put the ball wherever he wants, and he knows exactly where he wants to put it, and it will go there. So that's the great thing about Grammar's style of play, as we are getting put into the game now. But yeah, fingers crossed we can repeat yesterday's performance and come out with another victory.
Absolutely. I can see that the servers are starting to be made, so we will be there very quickly. And another point I wanted to add to Grammar, and maybe this comes from his 1v1 prowess, but it just bleeds into 3v3 extremely well alongside it, is his defensive talents. For me, back on Team Hosky, that was always what I used to point out back when he was kind of a rock of that roster, and that has followed him throughout his career. But we do have kickoff, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are happy to see this stream go underway. Big recoveries required here from the Tokyo Tigers, and already we see that solidity required in defense.
Yeah, and already on the back foot as Denisinho does slot one away in that far corner, and that is not the start that Tokyo Tigers would have wanted.
No, it really isn't. Denisinho very quick out of gates here with that shot coming across. Grammar was just left with 0 boost, and that's what happened when you soak up a lot of pressure for quite some time. Those counts start to get low. You start to have to calculate whether it's worth bailing the play for that extra bit of boost, or whether you've got to stand your ground, and a lone Grammar simply was not enough for the Denisinho shots here. And now Tokyo Tigers already starting behind, like we said, probably heading into this would be an unexpected result. Cashvo to Grammar, strikes right back with a snipe from the midfield line, and the players looking calm on their player cans, ready to get this match continued. This was the start you'd want for both of these sides. Warmed up now with that goal drought ended for both teams.
Yeah, and that's what we needed to see from the experienced Cash on the side of Tokyo Tigers, just slamming that one above the head of all the defenders. As here he goes again, trying to get something going, but there's just a lack of boost.
Yeah, it was a problem for that first goal. Hopefully that starts to clean itself up. Some of that off the ball prowess, being aggressive at those corners, at those wides, at those pads as well. But it seems like for now, they are just looking to neutralize this defense and turn it to something special. We saw how quickly they can transition it to something special. With that opening goal, they were able to grab themselves. It's a huge attack coming here for the Tokyo Tigers. And now it's SirPigasus' turn to try and lock down their own defenses. Their counts are looking low. Look at the top side of your screen, ladies and gentlemen. That economy going towards the Tokyo Tigers. Grammar there waiting just outside the box for a heavy touch from Nishiti. And this is more what we wanted. Tokyo Tigers now in the driver's seat.
Yeah, and similarly to yesterday, a lot of the pressure is on the side of Tokyo Tigers. And yeah, it's the perfect start to the reverse sweep attempt of the Swiss bracket.
Just shows how quickly Rocket League can change, going from 1-0 down 30 seconds later. Tokyo Tigers in that position you'd expect them to be in, and that's why it's so important. But you keep your cool throughout a series. You do not lose track of what's ahead of you, because the game can change so fast, and that's both if you're the chasing team or if you're the team in front. Because now it's up to the Tokyo Tigers to just hold on to this lead now. Maybe extend it if they get the opportunity, but they've got to remain disciplined. And that's why it's so important to have the likes of Cash on his team, who has so much experience behind him, has even that LAN experience at the very, very top level of the game behind him. And of course, Grammar now, who's grown in experience as these seasons have continued. And as, like I said, he has been more of a regular standee in those top 16 spots. And Pluvo, obviously no stranger, but at this point, you would call him the least experienced in that regard. But still, some old heads on young shoulders here, looking to keep this game in their favour as we cross the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Cash will be so important now for this Tokyo Tigers side, for getting through to main event if that were to happen. His vast experience has got to be so valuable for this team, and hopefully we'll see it translate onto the pitch.
Absolutely, and Tokyo Tigers, they've had some experience between themselves. They did play in the Booster Cores competition just a few weeks ago. They got second place there, only dropping to 100% at that final hurdle. And there were plenty of teams and players there that we can actually see in some of the Swiss brackets, in some of the later day twos as well, that were contenders in that tournament. So already that goes to show that Tokyo Tigers are very much up there, 100%. Being one of those rosters, being one of those, well, not organizations that we commonly see in top 16 and flying higher as well. They had their struggles yesterday against Caliente in those final stages, but the Tokyo Tigers have decided it's their turn to play as the cannon doubles the lead.
Yeah, and there is again the man that we have been talking about a lot already, Cash, extending the lead further for the Tokyo Tigers. And yeah, talking about tournaments that the Tokyo Tigers have played together in, not quite the same iteration, but minus Grammar. Obviously, they played at the major and came second. Again, losing to 75%, which is almost 100%. I think Gorse was the addition for Louis P in that case, but no, a strong showing early on in this team's formation. Hopefully, shows a bright future. It's just getting through this Swiss stage as Pluvo extends the lead yet again, makes it 4-1.
And he was the man on the big screen in the stadium that they kept on interviewing after that British Esports Grand Finals. I mean, he wasn't in the best of spirits afterwards, but still, it's rare to see him without, you know, a slight positive aura around him, always looking to the future, always looking to see how he can build off the back of those kinds of results. And many people do herald him as one of those future starts here for England, for Britain overall, and it's why it's nice that he's able to have this platform for a team stream for today, and it's why it's so nice to see him leading here in game 1 of round 3.
Yeah, well, hopefully everybody here in the stream is on the side of Tokyo Tigers, supporting just as we are. And if you're not, that is also okay. We just appreciate you being here for the ride. But Cash now puts a long shot on net, on target, makes the defense work. Rife is going to fire a pass up for Nishiti, but this game is all but over. Regardless of if this does get converted, which it does, and 4-2. And I don't think it's possible. Maybe it is to get 2 goals in 5 seconds, but I think this game 1 is over. But
I'd agree.
You never know. It is Rocket League.
There was a case in South America, I think it was 2 seasons back, where someone conceded a 2-goal lead with 5 seconds left on the clock. But that is not going to happen on this broadcast. The Tokyo Tigers do take their second game of the day and the first one on stream in this third round. And they did it, dare I say there, Cedric, in rather convincing fashion. I mean, it was a big start and a big finish for our opponents. But those 1 goals at the beginning and at the end simply mean nothing when the middle game was completely dominated by the Tigers with 4 goals to show between them. And I believe we actually saw a goal from every single one of the players as well. So it showed a nice bit of balance between them, a bit more chemistry between games, which I think was missing in those past few series.
Yeah, and like I said before, they've started as they were yesterday in day 2 against the same team, and they've just carried on that momentum through to today. And yeah, it's looking good. It's looking up. Hopefully, same again this game.
Absolutely. Carry on where you let off. I mean, if you're going to win the first game, make it easy. Just repeat that 2 more times and we'll be quickly waiting for that 4th round. Reverse sweeps, of course, especially when it's a reverse swift, is always going to be a long road ahead. So getting those little steps, as little as possible, is always going to play to your advantage. And I feel like we should be filled with a lot of confidence after what we saw in that first game. If we can survive those opening and those ending stages, or at least give us a big head start in that middle game for that final barrage that our opponents like to throw at us, we should be full to the brim with confidence. Pluvo giving, a slight turn of the neck there, getting those stretches out, ready for this second game. It's a quick start here coming from Esberos, trying that 1 kickoff strategy, which is proven to be very, very popular in RLCS 2025. The one where the first player will fake it for the cheating man to try and knock it to the first. That's one that I saw Johnny Boy was talking about in his streams earlier as a tactic which he heralded for quite some time, but only now has it really shown itself in professional play. Here's Nashiti yet again with an opening goal here for Esperos, but don't panic because we've seen how this can end up.
Yeah, exactly the same start as last game, almost by the second. We've got 1-0 down, still 4 minutes 30 left to play, still plenty of time, and yeah, this happened last time. Hopefully they can recover, or maybe not, as Rife doubles the lead almost straight away. It only took 5 seconds to double the lead. And this isn't the ideal start they wanted for game 2.
Yeah, this is where it starts to divert away to what we saw in game 1. Tokyo Tigers were actually the team that were able to very quickly respond with their following goal thereafter. But now here, 2-goal deficit. It's that double-edged sword where, you concede twice early. And, well, it's a big head start for your opponents, but also plenty of time for you to make that comeback as well. Denisinho looking for that flip reset off the pre-flip. Doesn't quite come together, and now it's the Tokyo Tigers on the counter. Grammar, beautiful first touch. Flip reset of their own, looking for that solid 50. But that one does not quite land. Espiros, though, were bunched up on that right wall, susceptible for those few bumps that the Tokyo Tigers did attempt there in midfield. There are gaps here for them to try and take advantage of, but the Stripes are going to have to stay solid here in defense as well. Pluvo with a fantastic save here, but now it's all about those transitions.
Yeah, and the transitions have looked relatively good, at least they did in day 2 yesterday. That was probably one of the highlights of the gameplay that we did see yesterday, although it wasn't the best day for Tokyo Tigers as Cash receives a lovely pass there from, was it Pluvo who passed that? It was Grammar that passed that one in. Lovely first touch. That's something I love about Grammar, his ability to catch the ball midair like that is something I will always fail to do as long as I play this game.
I mean, that's the same play he's gone for 2 times in a row. He had one where he attempted it alone, and then the second time where he sees a teammate, and that just shows consistency and how he's able to change his options as well. It's the same play in the playbook, just utilized very differently. That time, it was laid off beautifully for Cash for that first goal. Now you can start to see those pieces starting to come together, hopefully, in this second game. They've got to build up off of that momentum. Well, a pinch from Grammar might just be exactly what they need for that forward press.
Yeah, and Cash trying to squeeze it over the top of the defense, but it doesn't quite make it through that time. Pluvo is going to collect it. It gets instantly shut down by Denisino. He's having absolutely none of that. There's 3 highly mechanical players on this Tokyo Tigers side. You really don't want to let them have any free time in there if you can avoid it.
It's Pluvo again, trying to find a teammate on that wall, but Espiros do well to read that 1 second in advance. Dummy plays here, leaving the Tokyo Tigers guessing on defense, but Pluvo sees through all the madness, challenges that ball early here, leaves Espiros moving back to square one, and some time as well for Tokyo Tigers to pick up some of that boost, which they desperately need as that ball finds the center. Pluvo's required, but Grammar says, stand back, I've got more boost. It's a higher percentage play here. Let me take it to the corner and stay back for the extra chances that Espiros are going to try and throw back at you. But now it's time for the cannon. 2 flip resets, dribbles past 1. But a second man was too much of an option, but you can still feel the impact of that play remain in that offense as the Tokyo Tigers are able to clamp down in offense.
Oh, and a little pull shot attempt there from Cash and Pluvo. Doesn't quite come off, but it very nearly did. Cash now left alone in the back, but he has got the boost advantage on Rife. But now Rife has taken the back one, but is now hit away by Pluvo. Denisino gets a little backflip over the top of Grammar.
Ooh.
That's a lovely finish from Denisino to extend their lead further with 1 minute 30 left to go. I don't think it's impossible for the Tokyo Tigers, but something does need to be changed.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, it's felt like Espiros have been at their strongest at the beginning, at the end of the game, and we're approaching that point now where they do get that skill buff, and you can see it coming here off the kickoff, although I'm not sure how much I would credit this to themselves. I feel like that was Cash there getting beat. Tokyo Tigers going for a very, very specific kickoff strategy there that just required everything to go well, and when it all falls apart, a high-risk, high-reward play, sometimes you've got to feel the former.
Yeah, and another kickoff strat not quite going to plan, and it's going to be 5-1. And is that 3 kickoff goals in a row? No, it's 2 in a row. 2 in a row.
It is 2. It is 2. Hopefully it's not 3. Let's not manifest that, Cedric.
My bad, guys. My bad. I'll stop.
Well, we'll have a second now to see if Cedric has cursed the team. Oh my goodness, he might have. Cash with the save, but still, I would say we're in that kickoff period. I feel like you did just get saved there in those final seconds. We need 4 goals in the final minute. It feels like that's going to be a very, very hard scoreline to chase. And how about 5 here as Dino does find that extra bit of space. But I feel like with these last few goals, you've got to remember here as a viewer, there's a reason so many goals were scored in quick succession. This isn't the Tokyo Tigers all of a sudden becoming, much worse at the game or just allowing Espiros to score. They've given up. They've had to play a very, dare I say, like balls to the walls kind of play style where they have to be super offensive. They have to play really risky. And it's either you get a lot of goals for yourself or you end up conceding a bunch. That's a part of that risk. It's a part of that style you have to play in. Should those scorelines be reset 5 minutes, 0-0 on the clock, you'll not see them playing that risk-averse like they have done in these final 90 seconds. So do not let that scoreline trick you heading into that third game.
Yeah, but it must be a massive confidence booster for the side of Esperos. After beating this team that, well, in the end, beat you and knocked you down to low bracket in day 2. It's now 7-1 up, equalizing this series. It must be a just huge confidence booster. I know it would be for me.
Of course, especially if it's in the RLCS. You're here, top 32. Let's be real, they did not expect to be here in the first place. Getting this game win against such established talent, especially with the likes of Cash, I'm sure many of them would be recognizing Grammar and Pluvo as well, and landing a Brazil in that second game after that first game, which went so against them. Absolutely, you'd have that confidence boost, but this is where you've got to show, a little bit of discipline, though, heading into that third game, because, of course, there's being confident, there's having that bit of excitement behind you, But you've got to not allow that to leak into a bit of complacency and a bit of overconfidence in this third game. Otherwise, the experience of the Tokyo Tigers are going to completely shut you down. So there's still another test here that Aspiros have to live up to at the beginning of this third game, and we will get those answers rather quickly.
Yeah, we will get those answers very quickly, but that must, at a certain point in that game, there must have been a moment where they've gone, okay, lads, this game is beyond recoverable. Let's just use it as a mental reset. Let's think about the upcoming games, the rest of the series, and not worry too much about that game, and be fresh for the next 2, 3, however many more games are going to be left in this series, and yeah, do their best to try and come out with the victory.
Absolutely. When you've got mental coach Stelios behind you as well, it's the best position you could be in, considering you have just gone down 7-1. Having someone that can bring you back into it, that's qualified to do so, to increase that confidence, will be required here for Tokyo Tigers. We'll see if the effects of that can be noticed here in this third game. And as well, Vesperos are going to show some overconfidence, or if they're going to show early that they can have a little bit of experience here, even at the highest level. Vesperos doing a few of these setup touches high. It will force the Tokyo Tigers to just stay on that backcourt. It distracts time that they could have to pick up some of these 100 boosts, and allows Aspiros just to recenter themselves as well at that midfield line. Pluvo with a big job to do here to progress the play. Lays that one off nicely to Cash. He's going to be going for that double, but 2 options there on that backboard will shut that one down temporarily. It's all up to Grammar to try and get this play back forward. Beautiful layoff here to Pluvo, but Aspiros locking down that midfield line.
And how important do you think this game is going to be for the series? I feel like it's now it's technically a best of 3 now from this point. So this game is now like, whoever wins this is now match point. They've got that extra chance.
Oh, Cash going for that one off the ceiling, off the ground, every single surface, but couldn't quite find the target. Grammar will, however, just shy of the crossbar. Never going to miss one of those. Tokyo Tigers will take that lead, and already they can brush away the woes of Game 2, because Game 3 is ahead of them, and they are in that favourable position. The first game of the series where the Tigers take the opening shots.
I thought for a moment there was going to be a kick-off goal on the side of Tokyo Tigers, which I don't think we've seen so far this series. As Rife is going to collect the ball off the backboard, chip it down to midfield with Pluvo. Really intelligent touch round the defender. Just try and steal some boost and cause some chaos in the defence. As Cash is going to go for, I think that would have been a triple tap in the end. Grammar. I'll just wait and see what Pluvo's doing. Gets a little fake reset. Has the defence confused, but Cash can't quite find the net.
And it's going to be back here to Aspiros. It's been a rare few opportunities for them in this third game, and Cash going to scoff at that opportunity. An easy clearance for him, able to turn this one into something of an offense. Grammar, beautiful first touch. We complimented him on that before. It's what he does afterwards, though, that has to make all the magic. Pluvo gonna pick up from those pieces, has found the target as well, and it just forces a jump out of Aspiros' defense. Grammar shuts that one down at the halfway line, allows Cass to regroup himself back, get a bump on the way as well, and just allows Tokyo Tigers to not immediately have to be thrown into a defense. This isn't ping pong Rocket League. Tokyo Tigers will be looking to hold that pressure for as long as possible. That's a big bump to try and avoid here on the goal line. And it's going to be all up to Cash here to try and neutralize some of this offense that faces them. Big demo there coming from Nishiti, but with the control that Cash has been able to grab himself, that will allow some recovery time.
Yep, and well, as we've been talking about, about holding this lead, we have lost the lead, but it's still, we're not down. We're even. It's 0-0. Come on, boys. It's 0-0. Reset. 2-minute game. Good kickoff from Cash. Pluvo is going to try fake.
Oh.
He does get it, and Kramer does reach it just about. 2 minutes to go. And now we're back in the lead again. So that last goal didn't really matter too much.
I love that fake from Pluvo as well. just as they're excited, really bringing them back down to reality with a goal like that. Throwing them out of that defense, but now an opportunity to do it yet again. Just when they thought it was equal, bring them 2 down. It's Pluvo with the read off the corner. Grammar sets it up wonderfully here. Gets that touch off the top of that back wall, and Pluvo had to score it. Because with Cash double committing on that play as well, it would have surely been a concession had he have given away possession, or, Lord forbid, had whiffed on that play alone. But come on, this is Pluvo. He doesn't let things fly that easily. How about a 4th goal from the cannon here to bring those confidences back to Tokyo Tigers just when we had that little bit of a wobble.
Yeah, and Pluvo also having a quick mid-game snack there, it seems, as they do score. You know, you've got to refuel, got to stay energized for a long day like this is going to be. Obviously, if they do want to qualify for the top 16, there's going to be another 2 series after this, as long as they win this series.
Oh, absolutely. We do want to see them go all the way. I know that there are definitely histories with some of these players to going into those round 4s, going into those round 5s, and not quite being able to get that job done to get them into that top 16 spot. But we want this day to be different, and it has to start here. But that shot from Dino, just about finding the back of the net there. It was a 50 with Pluvo, which just couldn't quite land in his favor. Cash had no choice but to tap that one home. Even if that one was coming out, there was going to be an Aspiros player waiting to tap that one in regardless. But Tokyo Tigers, I'm sure they'll shake it off just like they did with that first goal they conceded in this game. I mean, we saw 3 goals thereafter. Hopefully they can keep those streaks going. Instead, it is going to be Nishiti just trying to close that gap with 69 seconds left on the clock. Nice. But I'm sure Tokyo Tigers will be able to step up to that plate. We've got to have some confidence behind these plays. They've had that talking to as well, I'm sure, by the mental coach. Otherwise, well, I don't think we'd see a game this close.
No, and they just need to not get too complacent now. There's still a minute to go. They have got the lead, but only by 1 goal. It was, only seemed like a moment ago, it was a 3-goal lead. As Pluvo does get a bump on the defender. They did want the ball there. Cash now. Again, getting another bump. Deep rotations, though, from the side of Tokyo Tigers. Again, Grammar with that lovely first touch. Goes for reset. Cash now looking for the sidewalk. Doesn't quite get the skim touch that he is known for, but that's a brilliant fake from Pluvo. That is composure at its best.
Yeah, patience in a position which feels like you have to rush it when you are just outside of that 6-yard box. You feel like you're always going to have a player on you, but it takes that extra bit of experience there to see the cars around you. I know that they're not going to bother you. They know that you're expected to just go for that initial shot. And when you take that extra bit of time and you have that extra bit of space, you force even more panic out of that defense. Class shown there from the Tokyo Tigers. And with 15 seconds left on the clock, you hope that this game is done and dusted. Of course, there would still be more work to be done in this series, and a defense to hold on to as well here from Aspiros. They are here on the reverse. That's a lovely little setup touch there from Nishiti, but ultimately it will not be enough. Tokyo Tigers put themselves on match points.
And that is things we love to see. I'd much rather have the boys on match point than the blue side of Esperos. Hopefully,
what is he scranning?
I don't know what he's scranning, but he's enjoying it. But you can see still there is giving words of wisdom. Hopefully, the Tokyo Tigers are just lapping it up, just absorbing all the things he's saying, and hopefully we'll see a difference on the pitch. But we'll let them eat and do the rest of their coaching without us intruding.
Oh, I love that.
But no, very, very positive game. 5-3. At one point, it was a little bit ropey, but all in all, I think that's pretty positive game 3.
Listen, Swiss is such a long format, especially when you're in this point as well, where you have to go all the way to round 5. So go on. Have yourself a snack, get yourself refueled. Nice to see him absorbing both the words there of Stelios and some nutrients as well, heading into game 4. Of course, Tokyo Tigers coming off what was a rather promising game 3 there. I would say I still want to see them be a bit tighter there in defense. They conceded a bit too much for my liking. Not for this series, but if we're talking about qualification, they're going to have to win, theoretically, 2 harder series after this. And I don't think they can afford to get away with some of those defensive openings that they have had in this series consistently. Even if they are going to score more goals against the Spiros, when you come against the much more experienced team later down the line, that's not something you can solely rely on. So I'm hoping that we can see those tones start to change here in game 4. And, well, that looks like it might just be the first goal here. Sniped from their own half. I mean, I'm completely shocked. The players look completely unbothered. We'll call that locked in here. It just completely runs away from the Spaniards.
Yeah, I don't even know what happened there. But maybe a mix of a bad 50 and unfortunate positioning. But no, I think Tokyo Tigers will absolutely take that all day.
Absolutely. I mean, I'll take that all day. Hanging in the loop for all I care. Tokyo Tigers taking the lead. I don't care how they do it. If they have a bunch more of those and make the European main event, we're going to be a very, very happy broadcast over here at RAF Storm Shadows. That's for sure.
That is absolutely for sure. As Pluvo and Cash, both very, very good friends of the Storm Shadows community. Hence why the stream is on our channel. Speaking of Pluvo, gets a 50 out of defense, but there's going to be an infield pass to Nishiti, but Grammar gets so close, but not close enough there to keep that ball out of his net.
That's a really, really tough save there. Grammar wanted to commit high, but Nishiti did well with that forward thinking to put it to that bottom corner. Nothing really much more Grammar could have done there. It felt like one of those rock, paper, scissors type players where you had to pick high, mid, or low. And unfortunately, luck of a draw wasn't quite on the side there of Grammar. Still, though, only an equal scoreline, and we saw where that led to in the last game. Grammar doing much better there to go over that first man and just about catch a touch of the ball there to try and shut down that offense. Now it's Cash looking to fake low. Has Nishiti flying towards that ceiling. Rife wanted a flip reset challenge as well, but Cash solid there with a lot of his chances. Grammar will send it left. Cash will await that first touch, but Nishiti does well to get involved quickly here, and this is a lot more of a back and forth match than we have seen before. It's been all about these 50-50s, and if one strays wide, that's where I think we'll see our next concession.
Grammar trying to get some of them plays that probably familiar from his ones game going. Not quite worked in this instance, but Grammar again trying to beat Rife to the ball, but just gets absolutely dusted. Luvo 50-50 challenge with the Sheety, but it is going to fall to Grammar, who is going to get a light fake touch. Tries to put it over the back of Rife, and he does eventually get to it. Things you love to see. 2-1. If it stays like this, we have made it through. Well, I say through the round 3 of Swiss. Obviously, we're 0-2, so we do have 2 more series to play, but we're not through. I'm just yapping now, but anyway. Back to the game.
Still more work to be done.
Yeah, still a lot more work to be done.
Still more work to be done, but listen, that's the confidence we've got to have here, right? Tokyo Tigers going all the way. That's the love we've got to have here for the boys. And I do genuinely back them to do it. And look away, that definitely wasn't a Rule 1 break there from one of our players. They've got a lot more respect than that. Pluvo going for the redirect. That one just flying wide here. And Ispiros, they've had little glimmers here of offense in this game, but it's been all about those shutdowns. Just as they've gotten close to that 6-yard line, I feel like they haven't quite had that final step, that final killer shot, that killer pass to really throw off the Tigers. And time is starting to run out for them. They are truly on their final life, not just in this series, but like we mentioned before, this is the O2 bracket, so this is going to be the Open as a whole for both of these teams. Dinisinho with a fantastic save here, but Cash able to maintain that possession, and it's these corners which are so hard to bring back to the center. They're said to be the safest areas for the defensive team here. And Tokyo Tigers not quite able to make that breakaway, but get to enjoy some corner safety of their own.
Yeah, and there's only 1 minute left to last for the Tokyo Tigers, so they can get through this lower round 3 matchup into round 4. As an infield pass from Cash does find Pluvo, and that could be the goal to seal the deal, but a minute is a long time in this game, so yeah, still work to do. 54 seconds to hold on.
It's such a hard call to make, especially with how well Espiros have done so far today at just getting a bunch of goals in a row and keeping us on our toes in games that we thought were just locked and loaded. Cash beaten by one of the Espiros players. Pluvo will just go for that back pass, but oh my goodness! Not the greatest of touches there from Grammar, but made it look calculated with that corner boost grab and the bit of possession he was able to grab thereafter. Quick thinking, Rocket League, but one that certainly has me bouncing out my seats.
Yeah, and that was I was yeah, a little bit worried for a moment there, because that one could have snowballed into a little bit of a mental game. But thank the Lord that hasn't gone into the net. 8 seconds left to play. Make that 5. And I think that we have just about done it. Repeat it. I think it's an exact repeat of yesterday. I think it was 3-1 yesterday against this same roster. And we are through to round 4 of the Swiss. So, yeah, let's now see the other scores, which I haven't been looking at through the series. Well, through this series, I haven't looked at the other scores. So let's have a look at the other series scores. So we'll be against a loser. So let's have a look. Nomster.
Well, I've seen that. Yeah, Nomster were swept by Dopamine. Bill's Balls got swept by Carmine Core, which in all fairness to them, was a rather rough matchup for them to have to face. And the team that we lost to in the last round of play, Milka Drongen, also got swept this time by GK Esports. But of course, even though they are in the 1-2 bracket with us, rematches are not allowed in Swiss. Rematches will only be allowed if everyone has rematched each other in a very, very awkward way. But that is not going to happen. So at the moment, it looks like it could be Nomster or Bill's Balls as one of our opponents, or of course one of the 0 and 2 teams as well coming back up. So you would look at the likes of Chippy Chips or Avoza. I would love to see how the results of that series is going. I'll actually quickly tune into that Avoza stream. I have 2 of my good friends actually casting that team. Shout out the wonderful Lolanizer and Corporal Monkey Shines. We'll see if they're in a very good mood at the moment or the complete opposite. Can't find Avoza's stream right now. I'm hoping that means they haven't
it has just come through, and Avoza have just lost 3-0 to Chippy Chips.
Wow.
Wow,
3-0.
Also, Babrito Bandito are 2-1 down according to the score reporting system. To Cloud Esports, which is Ever, Skyrix, and Mako. So a lot of the games do seem to be coming to an end. Have a look on Wikipedia, see if there's stuff going on. But whilst we wait for the other games to end, I think we are just going to cut to a very short break. Don't go anywhere, because we'll be back very, very soon. Bye for now.
Other day I said I don't wanna go. I didn't listen to you. No, 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 no. Other day I said I don't wanna go. I didn't listen to you. No, 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 no. Other day I said I don't wanna go. I didn't listen to you. No, 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 no. Other day I said I don't wanna go. I didn't listen to you. No, 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 no. Other day I said I don't wanna go. I didn't listen to you. No, 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 no. Other day I said I don't wanna go. I didn't listen to you. No, 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 no.
Welcome back, everybody. We are back for round 4 of RLCS Day 3 Swiss stage for the EU Open number 4 for the Rally Major. And we are just sitting tight waiting for our game to come through. And yep, I think we have got Bill's balls. Yep, cool. So we're playing Bill's balls, which is Riho, Motion, and who's their third? Billy, of course. It's called Bill's balls. Yeah. Obviously, you may recognize Riho and Motion from the whole ban situation in SSA. However, they are back in Europe and on our stream. So, which way do you think this is going to go?
Listen, they've been out of action for quite a bit here, Riho and Motion, of course. I mean, they've still been competing in whatever bubble tournaments would allow them to compete, which, to be fair, is most of them. And it's nice to see at least that they're not competing in SSA. That also is something I'm quite happy about, to see them here in EU if they are going to compete again. And honestly, they are a strong roster. We have to give them their flowers. I think Billy does round off that roster really, really nicely. They were absolute demons during day 2, and I feel like you can expect to see that continue here in day 3, especially when it comes to around that round 4 range where we find ourselves currently. I feel like that's the kind of range you expect to see Bill's balls in round 4, in round 5, and if you want to be that top dog, if you want to make the main event, these are the type of caliber of teams you have to be able to beat. And with Tokyo Tigers, I think they should be beating this team. Whether they will, I want to be proven on the pitch. I'm quite happy with how they left off after that last series, but if we get the Milkadrongen version of Tokyo Tigers, that's not going to be enough. So if we have the max power, the full claws of the Tokyo Tigers, this should be in our hands.
And fingers crossed, it is in our hands. And should we do a little bit of a score prediction before we head into this match? I think this could be a little bit of fun. I'll let you go first.
I'm down. Like I said, Billy, Riho, and Motion is going to be a tough side to face at this stage of the competition. I will tell you that they did just come off the back of a loss against Carmine Core, where they got swept. So I'm going to hope this is going to be a team that we can kick whilst they're down. They played a team which many heralded as the best in the region heading into this, of course, after their major championship, where they completely dominated. But they did drop to NIP. But also NIP just look unstoppable at the moment. So it's hard to really judge it off that regard. I'll go 3-1. But I think they're going to be close 3-1s, okay? I feel like we are going to have to fight our way for that game 4 victory for every single game. I don't think there will be a single blowout throughout. I would expect some overtimes as well for this forecast.
I like that prediction. However, I'm going to go for a slightly different prediction. Yesterday, there was a theme. I predicted pretty much 3-0s for every single one, and I was proven wrong, I think, for every single one. So this time, I'm going to go... I think it's going to go over distance. So I think it's going to be a game 5, because there's not 7 games in this one. A game 5, 3-2 victory to Tokyo Tigers.
Nice. I was worried with that pause for a second there, that you were just going to completely, throw away the team stream vibes and be like, listen, Bill's balls might just have it. I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys. Absolutely not. Of course, we're here for the Tokyo Tigers. We believe in the Tokyo Tigers, and they're going to give us a reason to believe on the pitch as well. Like you said, saw some signs of that in the last series, but ultimately, we know that they're a bit better than that. Someone in chat predicted 4-1. Again, this is a best of 5, but
that might be my bad.
I can understand how Cedric could have pulled you into that trap. Of course, this is also a must-win series, with this being a 1-2 bracket. Both these teams need to win 2 series in a row to make the main event in the best region in the world. Ooh, excited but nervous, I feel like can describe the atmosphere I feel at the moment in the casting booth, but I'm sure the players are not feeling it. Such great experience, a mental coach behind them who's qualified to do that job as well. It's not just a title, it's going to be what brings them forward today. And I tell you what, if they do pull off that reverse Swiss, we've got to give the players and the mental coach all their flowers.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can hear what is going on in the background. Is the party just keeps getting reshuffled for some reason, which is why there is a delay going into the game. However, I have started a little prediction in chat for you lovely viewers to, use your sweet channel tokens to, well, predict who's going to win.
I'm going all in. I'm going all in for the Tokyo Tigers. Can someone vote Bill's Balls so I can get all my 3 points after Tokyo Tigers actually sweep and none of our predictions are correct? Well, the players, they are just loading in, ladies and gentlemen. Tokyo Tigers versus Bill's Balls. Loser is knocked out of the competition. The winner goes to the final stand. Can the Tigers build off the back of an 0-2 Swiss? It has to continue here.
Yeah, it needs to be a fast start from the side of Tokyo Tigers if they do want to assert their dominance in this series. Because these players are nothing to, I can't even think of the word right now, but you know what I'm saying. You can't write these players off because, we've seen what they can do in the region of SSA, almost qualifying for the majors. And I think they're pretty established players in their own right, especially in the midst of the bubble scene.
And I feel like if a wild card didn't already exist in OCE, I feel like that could be an alternative name for Bill's Balls. Of course, Riho and Motion coming off the back of a ban, returning here to EU instead of SSA. And also Uncle Billy, who decides whether he wants to coach, decides whether he wants to play, always for some reason, just out of nowhere, will make a top 16. That's the definition of a wild card player. And Tokyo Tigers just have to see through all that chaos. It's catching the ball with a flip reset, but Riho keeps that one out the top corner.
I just want to shout out Motion's pigeon on top of his car. It's not something you usually see in the highest level of the game is toppers, but I rate it. I want to see more of that in the high level.
Oh, there are a few toppers that have grown iconic in the RLCS. I know that there's a current up-and-comer player who uses a topper at the moment, so I can't quite put my hand on which player that is, but I wish them all the very best because I'd like to see it back in the game. It's very reminiscent of Jacob and his foam hats back in the day, if any of you guys were around long enough in the RLCS to remember that.
I'm definitely not around long enough for that because I have no idea who or what you are talking about.
NRG Jacob, I mean, my goodness. We got to get out the history books, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to write the RLCS history books just so people like you can revise on all the big names in the sport. But hold on a minute, big save there coming from Pluvo and Uncle Bill with a lot of job to do here on his own back wall. Not much boost, and it was a powerful ball boomed against him. More pinches just seemingly coming out of these 50-50s, and every single one not in the favour of Bill's Balls. They've more had to build things up themselves and had to deal with it having to be restarted immediately after Tokyo Tigers just slammed that ball back into that opposing third, though Pluvo doing exactly what I called right there this time. Shut down a little bit earlier. It was picked up, though, from Cash thereafter. Big plays here. Coming off that sidewall, was looking for that angle, had options for a double tap or to just go alone. Pluvo showing you how to go alone with that drag all the way forward, but ultimately 0-0 left on the clock, 3 minutes past.
Yeah, and it has become a little bit of a stalemate. I wouldn't say any team has more pressure than the other at the moment. Very close series, very slow series, it feels like, in comparison to the speed of play, especially with the last series feeling quite quick. Defo, the speed has slowed down a bit, which will probably favour the likes of people who like Grammar, who play in that style of play. Those ones players, they like to change the pace of the game, probably prefer that slower paced style of play, as Riho manages to save somehow. I'm not sure how he managed to block that 50 from going in. It's Grammar.
A
nice touch to Cash.
Aura,
yeah, we'll call it Aura. We will call it Aura.
Riho looking to show some more here with another player of his own, Grammar, though. Solid here with the 50-50s, and well, I said that solidity was just the word of the day. I feel like that's just the case in EU when you get to such a high level now. I saw a stream from Johnny Boy earlier. He was saying that in NA it's boost over ball. In EU it's ball over boost, and that ends up with a bunch of chasing, a bunch of these 50-50s coming on, and a lot of plays having to be made with very little resources in the tank. Cashfo has plenty to work with. Pluvo though still falls to just be that backup option, just in case that one slipped through, the former major contender.
It does now feel like it is going to be a next goal wins scenario with 10 seconds left. Could be a chance. It's going to fly towards the Tokyo Tigers goal. Luckily, Cash is back, and there wasn't really a threatening shot on target. And it is going to go to game 1 overtime.
Oh, well, that's the way to keep the pressure going with these two teams on their final life in regards to series. Looking for returns to the main event with many of these players here on the pitch. Cash dropping down to Pluvo. Pluvo's heavy touch isn't going to challenge that defense, but Billy has to give that impression like he has plenty of boost in the tank. He didn't. Cash goes high. Didn't anticipate the demo. And oh no! A save on the goal line. I don't know if that comes from a Tiger or one of Billy's players there. Either way, it's devastating for the Tigers, which realistically had an open net after that demo. Cashflow didn't anticipate it ahead of time. Although you can spin that into a positive fashion and say that Tokyo Tigers are the team that have shown a majority of the offense in this overtime. They've had the most fearful challenge so far, and Bill's Balls, they've looked a bit shaky in defense there, I say. A lot of these dummies being left players behind that seemingly just were not ready for the ball to come against them, and then it just leads to all these heavy touches that the Tokyo Tigers third man every time has just been lapping up whenever those opportunities present themselves. And we know that Pluvo has had a bit of a scram between games here. Now it's time for him to feast on the pitch as he takes possession.
And I have no idea how that double tap earlier from Cash didn't go in. As this could be dangerous from Riho, but that is the man you would want back in a position like that. With his one's experience, knows how to take the perfect 50-50, and here he is again. Looking to move the ball down the field. It's going to fall to Cash to slam it on the backboard. Pluvo with a fake challenge. Forces Rio to bang the ball away. Now Grammar to Cash. Cash is going to catch it on the wall. Beats one. 50 of the second. It's going to be left up to Grammar to try and do something with his 20 boost. It's over one.
Do it.
Riho.
Fortunate there.
Rio is there.
Oh my goodness. Pluvo looking for that corner read. We've seen him score many of those in his time. Same with Grammar with the sidewalls. Looking to be a master of all surfaces. This has just been Tokyo Tigers offense for some time. Well, when you need to blast through a defense which just won't let go, why not release the cannon? Cash there. A smile and a stretch of relief. You can see the same on Pluvo, and I'm sure if we had a cam of Grammar, we'd see something similar. Eventually, the Tokyo Tigers able to take that first game, and it felt like it was a long time calling for them. I would say they looked like that advantageous team for a majority of that game. I felt like if it had gone in the other swing and we would have seen Bills Balls take that win, I feel like we would have left there completely devastated and, dare I say, disappointed. That was a game that should have been theirs, I feel like, a few minutes earlier.
Yeah, I think a defo game deserved to go to overtime, but I think it could have been finished a lot earlier than that. All the pressure, well, the offensive pressure was all with Tokyo Tigers.
Absolutely.
We'll have
to see if they can continue that, Cedric. I mean, that's what I think is going to be so tough with this team. We saw it a little bit in that series beforehand, didn't we? Where they had such a fantastic start in that first game, and then second game, they look like a completely different team. We do have opponents here that have just come off the back of losing to Carmine Core in a sweep. This is probably, a little bit of whiplash here, coming back to, I guess, what we would call Mortal Rocket League in European context. And even with the talent on this roster, It was held really close. We are heralded as one of the lower seeded teams here in the 1-2 bracket, but with how that first game went, I feel like that's a bit of an insult.
Well, we were seeded into the tournament as 16th seed, so on paper expected to be one of the teams challenging for that top 16 in main event next weekend, as Grammar does get an effort on target. But I think that's a pretty respectable seed to go into the tournament with. Obviously, seeding works a little bit differently for the Swiss stage. Cash looking for a little psycho attempt maybe there. He's going to go to the backboard, but Bill and all his experience as he's been in the scene a long time, similarly to Cash, just knows where to be.
There's a reason they call him Uncle Billy, I'm sure. He's, like you said, been in the scene for quite some time. I think has fulfilled every single role that is possible. Player, coach, he's probably managed at some point. Grammar pitting that one high. It should be a simple save there for the experienced opposition, but it's all about building that offense over time. It's not about your first shot, it's about the last. And Cash, not going to get the job done here. Riho, again, it's all of these heavy hits here, which are just so constant from Bills Balls in defense, where I feel like they scramble a bit more than they should do. There's not enough calm when they are that last team standing. Maybe it's, you know, from having to try and stop the attacks there of Drali and Vatira. We do see motion leave the pitch here, and I think it's past that point where I'm not sure if we can call for a redo. He has rejoined immediately, but my goodness, that will be a sign of concern here for Bills Balls.
Yeah, I think is it a minute? I think it's something like a minute. I'm not sure what it is, what the official rule is, but I think it is definitely past the point of no return for that. But here is motion. The player who did just DC. Can I get some forward pressure going? Riho. Another player who I know is very mechanical. Haven't really seen many mechanical players out of him so far, as Pluvo goes for one of his own.
Well, no mistakes made here. Motion, we know he didn't go off to change his car. You could recognize that one, I think, years in advance, whether that's Motion's car or not. Very unique car design. It must be said, Makash! Where did this come from? At the front post, 2 plays in front. He's got barely anything in the tank. And with sheer will and a miss there from one of the Bill Balls defenders, Tokyo Tigers dramatically take the lead out of nowhere.
And you can see the passion come out of Cash there when he scored that. Huge cheer when I went to the net. You can see how much this means to this team. And I must say, they are looking very positive in comparison to how they have looked so far today. I think maybe whatever Stell has been whispering into their ears is working almost perfectly. Yet to concede our Tokyo Tigers. Hopefully I haven't just cursed them, as Pluvo is going to bring them all down to try and extend their lead. Grammar.
And if you do want Stelios to whisper in your ear, unfortunately Tokyo's Tiger and myself have been booked.
Whispering sweet nothings. as Grammar is going to try and go for a solo play.
Oh, Grammar back high here. I think, I hope he's not listening to the broadcast. I hope he's locked in, but if he is, I feel like that was a sign to say, come on, boys. Look back into the game here. We are taking the lead against Bills Balls. This was a match which the current Swiss standings would not have had in our favour. But we knew it in our heart of hearts that if Tokyo Tigers played at their potential, they would be able to take this series. Still, though, it's been on a knife's edge. It's been really close score lines between these two teams. There was a 1-goal difference to separate in game 1. It's currently the same here in the second. We've seen Tokyo Tigers, though, hunt for that second. And dare I say, this has been a stronger performance from the Tigers than we saw in that first game. Bills Balls really haven't caused too much issues here for our blue side. And it's going to be Cash dropping this one down. Riho will block, but it's just low boost all round here from Bills Balls, which means they can try and put a start to an offense, but they're not able to continue, especially, again, with all just these heavy hits they're going for. They need that bit of control. Not that I'm going to be complaining, because Tokyo Tiger will have that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, it is very slow from Bills Balls as they do get their first goal of the series to equalise this game. But yeah, it feels like it is quite slow. I've seen a lot of, on multiple occasions, Bills Balls players waiting for boosts to spawn, not necessarily getting them, and then the boost then being picked up by someone on Tokyo Tigers. So boost management not looking the best for Bills Balls, but they do manage to get a goal and level out this game number 2, as it is going to sit in front of the net.
Oof.
But nothing did end up coming with it, Pegasus.
Yeah, and it's what's so scary about these kinds of games where the scoreline is constantly so close. Even if you are the dominant team, one moment can really change the direction of the game result. And I feel like it was just one small glimpse of madness there from the Tigers that allowed Bills Balls to get some equality. Because I would say the other 99% of the game has been all the Tokyo Tigers. But again, we are back into overtime. That's a quick kickoff here coming from Riho. And that has been a weak point for the Tokyo Tigers for some reason. It always follows the players that formerly played for Team Hosky. I feel like whenever I cast a Grammar and Pluvo roster, that's just something that seems to stick. Luckily, it hasn't reared its ugly head in too much in this game. That one's too high for Grammar. The follow-up sends that ball flying as well. And this is more what you'd want to see from Bills Balls. A nice control from motion. Completely messes up, however, on that second touch. And now it's Cash. Off the ceiling, holding the 50, saves his jump just to recover himself back, see himself back into that second or third man position. Just keeps that train of shots going here for the Tokyo Tigers. It's not a one-man army. It's a lovely assembly line of offensive talent. Here's Cash looking for 2 touches. Is there a player in? It's Pluvo. But Bill will keep the survival here for Bills Balls.
Yeah, and for a minute I thought that was just an open net for Bills Balls. As we see trading of demos on the field as Cash sees Pluvo. Goes for a double, doesn't quite get it on target. Grammar going to go for a solo play of his own. Motion has it read to a T. Can't fool him. It's going to be a 1v1 versus Motion and Cash. Cash does get it over, but there's a double commit. Pluvo is there with his sweeping brush. Make sure it's safe.
Very, very nice there. From, I believe that was Pluvo. It was a slight double commit there coming from his other 2 defenders. So he had to go in with an awkward touch to get it to the corner. And now it feels like play has reset. And Tokyo Tigers have been able to get themselves back into the regular rhythms of their rotation. Riho back up, boosted the tank. You see a bump attempted there by one of the Bills Balls players. Options there in field as well. It's on target, but Grammar keeps things alive and immediately launched the counter for Cash. It was on target, but Riho able to tip it out. Still more work left to be done here. We have had about 3 games worth of action, but we are still in the second. Tokyo's Tigers leading in the series score, looking to put themselves on match point. Grammar slams it close, sees there's that bit of space, lures in motion and then knocks it right over him. Pluvo gonna have to sit this one back. It was an awkward touch to make, but he has done well considering the position. Motion looking for those bumps thereafter, and even though he was grazed there, Grammar kept it forward, and Pluvo did well with a challenge for themselves. But is this how it ends? An awkward 50 against Bills Balls sees Tokyo Tigers getting some forward space, but it feels like as quick as that ball went forward, it died, and that's a huge mistake from the Tigers. And Bills Balls will lap that one up.
Oh, that is not how you want to end an overtime at all, is it? Especially after looking so dominant, regardless of the scoreline. That is very unfortunate. That's not the way you really want to see them lose that game too. But at least we're not down in the series. It's 1-1, and it's looking good for my prediction. So I can't complain.
Yeah, that's true. And mine, in all fairness, I did predict a 3-1 at the end of the day. So maybe we should rejoice. Maybe they threw that one a little for us, but I don't think we should bring up throwing with this matchup. Either way, the Tokyo Tigers, I said at the end of game 1 that if that one ran away from them, with them in my head feeling like the stronger team, I would have felt a bit disheartened with that loss. I feel like instead that feeling was just delayed for the end of game 2, where again it felt like that was more Tokyo Tigers. It's just in certain opportunities they couldn't quite finish their dinner. As much as they had all of that forward pressure and the majority of that possession, if you're going to hold it to a 1-goal game, it will be those brief moments that make the difference. And unfortunately, those brief moments went against them.
Yeah, and it's in the most unfortunate and unlucky fashion that they'd end up bumping each other. It does lead to the loss. But they do look so dangerous on that transition play. They got very unfortunate not to score multiple occasions in that overtime. But you can't change the past. You can only look forward. We're in game 3 now. And Tokyo Tigers take the lead once again. As Grammar is going to take it off the backboard. 50 with motion. Cash going to meet Uncle Bill, but Uncle Bill came so quick. Cash manages to get a little touch on it. It is going to fall into the corner with Riho and Grammar. Grammar left to chase this one down. Can only get as far as Uncle Bill, but it does leave Cash with a little bit of space to use those mechanics that we have seen so many times before. Oh, and it is going to fall for Pluvo.
Beautiful.
That was a lovely, lovely solo effort from Cash. It does just fall down to Pluvo, opens up all the space. Uncle Bill does not know what to do. And that's showing his unk status there. Sorry, Bill.
I hope.
I
hope none of them watched us back. I hope none of the Bills players watched them back. However, if they would like a show match, my DMs are open.
Yeah, well, saying that, he's a lot better than I am, but I don't rescind my comment. So.
Well, Tokyo Tigers back with the lead, like we saw in the game before, but we can see how one moment can really make the difference. So for Tokyo Tigers, will probably want to double their lead before it's made equal. Oh my goodness, there was no players back there to make that save, but it was, in all fairness, an awkward angle for the Bills Bulls player to try and finish. Pluvo, 0 boost, and Uncle Bill not going to be tricked there whatsoever. Knows his game, knows what he's pretending to do there. And it will be Bills Bulls with a bit more venom out of the gates here in this third game than we have really seen for quite some time in this series. Demo coming out from Grammar. It's going to be a 2v1, but Motion might just be able to chase himself back for the touch. Pluvo's got a tough 50 to take here. Has to get that challenge. Motion, though, forced to back corners. Won't see any complaints here from the Tigers, but a wonderful pass in here to Riho. We'll see that equaliser, and I feel like it's the first time in quite a long time that I can say a goal here from Bills Bulls. It felt like it was a long time coming. This is more pressure than we have seen from Bills Bulls than we have in the majority of the series.
Yeah, that overtime win, defo helping with the confidence of this Bills Bulls side. You've seen that they just pushed up more together. Before there was a load of gaps in rotation, hence why the game felt a little bit slow. As the pressure is back with Tokyo Tigers, they are trying to clap back almost instantly. Pluvo gets a bump on one. Cash is going to keep the ball in the danger area. Grammar. One touchdown to Cash. Cash gets a redirect to the back ball, but Bill missing again. Grammar collects it. Looks to Pluvo, finds him. Pluvo looking for a dunk on Uncle Bill, but it doesn't quite come off, and it is going to fall back with Motion.
Motion looking to bring this one inside. Pluvo does want to just pinch this one all the way forward, and there are a few options here for a Bills Bulls player to take it, but it will be Billy taking that lead. I mean, he's got the name of the team. I feel like he should have, you know, all the priority when the balls are 50-50. Grammar though, oh, almost on the wraparound to get that lead back in the favour of the Tokyo Tigers. But instead, with 2 minutes left, it's going to be another defense to hold on to. That's a brilliant shot there from Motion, but just a bit too high. Set up quickly there from their own defences. Speaking of defences, they're going to have to create back from their own yet again. And oh, that wasn't the greatest attempt there from Motion. Luckily, though, Riho was there to pick up from the pieces. Cash, though, 0 boost. Still appears as a threat there for the Bills Bulls defense. And that's a complete bunch up in the corner. And Grammar will see the Tokyo Tigers ahead. And there are going to be some very happy supporters here in chat.
I definitely think the Tokyo Tigers did get away with one a little bit just then with Motion's shot absolutely slamming the crossbar. But 2-1, maybe against the run of play a little bit, as it is going to be an instant response from Motion, this time avoiding the crossbar, and it's back level pegging.
A bit of a devastator here for the Tokyo Tigers. Cash is 50-50. Not quite finding the direction he wanted, but you've got to give some credit here to the positioning of Motion. Perfect place, perfect time to catch that shot against the Tokyo Tigers defense. And oh, what a bump there from Billy as well. Spikes the Tokyo Tiger player down. And now with 1 minute left on the clock, I fear that we're in a very familiar position where perhaps this is an early sighting of a golden goal. Pluvo has a player right behind, looking for the 1v3. The Magician looking to pull another trick out of his hat. But it was all up to that final defender. 2 was too little, 3 was too much. And Bill's balls have been sent a warning shot there from the main man.
Yeah, for a minute I thought that was it. I thought that was in, but can go no further than the crossbar. We've seen a few shots hit the crossbar this series. Riho is going to zigzag his way through the Tokyo Tigers squad. But they come away okay with it. There is very little boost on the side of the Tokyo Tigers in that defense.
Ooh.
Cash goes for a sidewall. Doesn't quite get the skim, but he is able to follow it. Motion does so well to dash to get that ball. It is looking like it is going to be the third overtime in a row. 2 seconds left to play. We are on.
Oh, not like this.
Ooh, buzzer beater territory.
Motion side. There's an option inside. It hits the ground. Deep breaths. You only have 3 seconds. Head back in the game. The 5th goal will be the winner.
And this is a big one. Tied series so far. Whoever wins this goes on to match point. Must be feeling a little bit of pressure. But this is where Stell and his wise words come in. Riho gets the better of Pluvo. Cash going for another sidewall. Doesn't quite come off. Grammar knows Pluvo's in that corner. Pluvo can only get a 50. That almost heads straight towards the goal. Pluvo now gets a shot of his own. Slightly off. But he is going to stay on the ball. This could be dangerous now for Bill's balls.
Oh, that's messy.
It's a little bit.
Really messy.
A few double commits coming out from both sides, I think, throughout this series. You can imagine the nerves that all the players are feeling as Motion goes for a little flip reset. Musty and Bill!
Oh my goodness! Got away with murder there. It was a big demo from one of the Tokyo Tigers players, but then a double commit, having the miss from the Bills. I mean, just a complete moment of chaos. Will anyone respawn in time? It's off the post. Grammar! Oh my goodness! Saves the day. Uncle Bill will pop an eye. There is an option down low. It's another double commit, and it's been a shaky overtime from both of these teams. They need to use these brief moments of the ball just hanging in the air just to take a breath, just to get your composure back. Yes. You are the better team, Tokyo Tigers. Come on. Oh.
It's so scrappy in the last 30 seconds or so. But Pluvo now trying to take matters into his own hands. Can't quite get it past the defense. Rio is going to have a shot on net. It just hits the bar. Favourable bounce for Tokyo Tigers. That's in the air. Like you said, they just need to take a breath. Just get back into the right positions. Prepare for the next attack from this Bills Balls roster. It's Cash looking for a 50 with Motion. All the boost is kind of split on the field, but now it's looking healthy for Tokyo Tigers. That strong transition play I was talking about earlier is starting to show, but it's still not good enough to get that winning goal.
Riho off the corner. There is an option there for Bill's balls. Uncle Bill looking for that tight angle, but Grammar and Pluvo away. Cash will be the one to try and start the offense. Sidewall doesn't come in. Shot doesn't quite find the back of the net either. It was too wide. And we saw a third follow-up here from Pluvo, but he'll slow down the play a bit here. It's a low-boost offense for Tokyo Tigers, but they've been able to dominate some of the big boosts. There's a demo as well. One man back. Cash for the flip reset. And Grammar can't get there on the follow-up. Pluvo chase back, get that perfect first touch, and make sure your communications are perfect, because these are the awkward positions we've seen us fall before in series beforehand today. Not this time. A different Tokyo Tigers now on their final life, looking for the main event. Can Cash get the job done? It's a clearance there from Bill Balls, who are not out of the woods yet.
And all the pressure is starting to come from Tokyo Tigers. Another shot on there. And Pluvo! That is the winner we were hoping for. Let's go. Come on, Tokyo Tigers. They've match point now. One more game to go.
An extra growl from the Tigers. Someone predicted Grammar 215, but it was Pluvo 315 to get the job done. My goodness, if that went any longer, Cedric, I feel like you would have had to hit up another caster. I think I would have needed a little trip to a fun place we call the hospital. My heart not built for a series like that, ladies and gentlemen. But, oh, am I happy to see that the Tokyo Tigers got themselves that advantage. Game 4 was always guaranteed with that 1-1 scoreline. But now the Tigers get to go in with that advantage and 2 chances to get themselves into that round 5. And Cedric, my goodness, it's almost there. They've just got to reach out and grab it with those paws of theirs.
Well, they know that it's there. They know they've got the talent on this side to overcome this Bills Balls team. And now they've got the match point. I just want to mention, what an outstanding performance in that last game by Pluvo. 2 goals, 5 saves, and an assist.
Wow.
Involved in every single goal. 915 points. And just look, everything he was doing was almost perfect. See a few mistakes here and there, as there is in every single Rocket League match. But yeah, just shout out Pluvo. What a performance.
Absolutely. Listen, there's a reason that I called him the Magician last season, and that's a title which has stuck with him throughout many a team now, including the very Tokyo Tigers that made the grand finals, of course, of the British esports. Uncle Bill and Riho looking to get themselves off to a big start here. It's going to look like a long road ahead, especially with how drawn out these games have been, but that's a big start for the Tigers. Capitulation in the defense here of Bill's Balls. Motion can't get the touch. Bill with the last minute panic and nothing in the tank. Leaves it completely open for the cannon. And the man is cheering in the chat at the moment. That's the support team we need. And there he is, and on for a hat trick. Seconds before the last.
2-0. 20 seconds is all it takes, and now they must be feeling very, very comfortable in this game number 4. Your prediction is looking pretty darn good.
Oh, it is. What can I say? I said they'd be close games as well, and I feel like the first 3 have done enough for me to say that that stipulation has been met. So now it's all up to the players to just get that job done now. They've got this head start, but it's a long time to hold on to, especially with Bill's Balls now most likely moving their gameplay to one that's a lot more offensive focused. I think they're going to get a lot more aggressive in these final 4 minutes, because now this is going to be a team with nothing to lose. And sometimes that can catch a team off guard, and Tokyo Tigers have to be ready for it. Fantastic save there coming from Cash. But already you can start to feel that effect I spoke about.
Yeah, and it's time for this Bills Balls side to step up. If they are going to step up, they need to do it as soon as possible. But so far, Tokyo Tigers managing to hold them off. Hasn't really been that much trouble. Maybe 1 or 2 looming shots, but Grammar goes for a pre-flip. Almost on time, but Riho was so ready for that. He saw it coming. Grammar is going to play the 50 with motion. Not letting them even have a look in. Now they've got that 2-goal lead as Pluvo goes for a double. Almost makes it. For a minute I thought that was going to be a spectacular. However, it's all covered from Bill's Balls, but they are kind of stuck in defense, which is not where they want to be.
It's really not here. Motion getting this one over to Riho. Pluvo. Fake's going for the touch there. Had nothing in the tank. Think he made the right choice. Otherwise, it was just giving a free power shot there for Bills Balls to get that ball back forward, and Tigers didn't quite have the facilities to rotate in time should that have been the case. Really, really intelligent in this fourth game. And when you're able to keep your head screwed on in what should be such a high pressure and stressful series, that only goes to be a testament towards these players. Halfway point, Pluvo looking for the Doomsy dish! And he was the highlight man in the game before. Cash was just starting to take that title here in game 4. But you can never cut him out. Give him an inch. He'll take it the full mile.
Yeah, that is the Pluvo we know. And I must say, this performance from Tokyo Tigers in this series has been probably the best I've seen so far in the qualifier. It's time to come back to the Tokyo Tigers that we know and love. 4-0 now. Bills Balls, what are they going to do? They need to change something ASAP if they want to even equalise in this series, because 4 goals is quite a mountain to climb.
Can I sit back and relax yet? My goodness, it's been such a stressful series. I needed one like this to finish it off, but I'm scared with what I saw in the series before when we played against, I believe it was Espiros, where we did have some moments like this where we were 4 goals ahead and all of a sudden we just started conceding. That being said, I think we can both agree here, Cedric, that Tokyo Tigers have aged like a very fine wine, but a very, sped up fine wine. If we compared what we saw from Tokyo Tigers in Series 1 and Series 2 to what we saw in Series 3 to then what we're seeing in this series, it's insane, the level at which they've been able to improve in such a short space of time. That's the kind of stuff that you would, wait to write off and open and come back better next in the next one. But that's not what you see from this team. They can do it between series.
And that's what we call the Stell effect, for those watching. Having someone so joyful and qualified in your call as that mental coach, that can be the difference maker.
Absolutely. And I'm sure he will get all his flowers should they go on to round 5, like it is expected they will, with 70 seconds left and 4-0 being the score in the Tigers' favour. And my goodness, imagine the scenes if they go all the way to the main event. What an insane comeback that would have been for this roster. Should be very proud of how far they've come regardless. And it just feels like a little bit of a victory lap in this final minute. I don't quite have that confidence in Bills Balls, which they need to have in themselves if they want to stand a chance. And I'm sure, ladies and gentlemen, that this stream is going to be going on for at least an extra 45 minutes.
It is definitely looking that way. 30 seconds left on the clock. 4 goals in 30 seconds. I don't think I'm seeing that happening. As Pluvo now go with
Why not?
some crazy plays. We'll put the cameras on. We'll look at the emotions in the end of this series.
Unfazed.
Absolutely unfazed. Smiles all around. Stretching off. They already know they've won. I'm just gonna keep them there for the rest of the game. 13 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely.
Smiles.
Gorgeous group of lads, honestly.
Hey, I need to get I might get Stell in that bottom slot so we can see his emotions.
Absolutely. And Grammar, looking the same way he has done all day.
Yeah, it's amazing actually how he's managed to keep that
impressive.
perfect look.
Win or lose, same old Grammar. Look at him. There's a little bit of passion in those eyes. It must be said.
Yeah, a little bit. Maybe a bit gormless as well. As Tokyo Tigers do progress to round 5 of this Swiss stage. Now it's time to see who we're gonna get. That's the next question.
I do have results here. I have gone on to Trebler's stream. Unfortunately, our former opponents, Milka Drongan, do drop to Chippy Chips in game 5. So we should expect to see Chippy Chips in the bracket which we will be entering. Same can be said between Nompster and what team is that? That is Babrito Bandito. They are also going to a game 5, yet that one is still undecided. But coming from the upper half of things, we've got the likes of Dopamine, Cloud Esports, and Gentlemates Alpine awaiting in that 5th round. So I feel like the atmosphere around the desk at the moment, Cedric, is if it's not Gentlemates, I'll have a big smile on my face.
Yeah, well, it can't be Gentlemates. You played them already, so.
Oh, of course.
So hooray!
We're fine. We're fine.
So
right, dopamine. Dopamine is an option. I mean, they're a pretty good roster, but I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's a team that we faced in uppers, right? I believe in game 5, the final round of day 2, K-Dop, Astral, and Reese Fox were just about able to edge out this roster. So there is experience there, and from the sounds of what you were telling me, Cedric, if that were the team we up against, so plenty of pedigree there, they're certainly beatable, dare I say.
Absolutely beatable. There's a few different teams that we could get. So I'll be excited to see who we do draw. And either way, I believe in the boys. But we are going to cut to a very, very short break whilst these games do get processed, ready for round 5. So don't go anywhere. See you very shortly. Welcome back, everybody. We're here for round 5 of this RLCS EU Open number 4 of the Swiss stage in day 3. We have got Cloud Esport, as you have seen in the title, and I think this is probably quite a favourable matchup. I'm not upset with this. Very, very winnable. Probably one of the matchups I would have preferred to get out of this out of the little pool that we've got. So yeah, I'm feeling good. Yeah. I'm feeling positive.
And I think you can hear it here. I mean, it's round 5. This is where it really gets serious. I mean, we've been talking about live all day, but no, this is truly it for both teams. It's either finishing in that brutal 17th plus position or crediting yourself with a main event. Cloud Esports, their run today was a sweep against 0-3 side of Oza Esports, getting swept by 3-0 side Synergy, which I must say was a surprising result to see on the bracket. And of course, a 3-1 win to Pabrito Bandito, who also will be playing at the same time versus Dopamine. That final match was a swept loss versus Fast Forward. So if we're just going to analyze those games specifically there, Cedric, the wins being against Avoza and Pabrito Bandito, I feel like Pabrito Bandito is definitely that series you'd give a lot more credit to. But I feel like getting swept by Fast Forward is a pretty tough result for Cloud Esports to have to face. I mean, they're one of those teams that, yes, make top 16s, but I feel like if you want to be in this, qualification round 5 bracket, at least a game in my eyes out of that result.
Yeah, out of that Fast Forward roster, we've seen, I think, multiple players on the side of Tokyo Tigers to get multiple games and series off Fast Forward. So coming off a loss like that may take an effect on the mental side of things, but it's round 5. It's all to play for. So it could go either way at the end of the day. It's just a best of 5 between making main event and not making main event.
Absolutely. And of course, at RAF, we do have those links as well to Team HSK. And round 5s, unfortunately, are where a lot of these stories tend to come to an end with those associated organizations and teams. And of course, this Cloud Esports team were formerly Celesel, Cedric, and you mentioned it earlier, Pluvo, of course, having that history in that round 5 against that shock roster, that underseeded team that ended up going all the way to the main event. So now is the time for Pluvo to, stand on business, I guess you could say here, and get past that mental block. And I'm sure with the help of the man, the myth, the legend, of course, Stelios in the background as that mental coach, it should be an easier job than if he were to do it alone. I mean, we're already seeing round 5 of a potential reverse Swiss, and you don't see these opportunities all that often.
No, you absolutely don't. And Stelios in the chat is assuring us that everyone's in wonderful mental condition. That's what we love to hear going into this round 5. Good mental states, ready to go. Sounds promising. That's all I'm going to say.
It really, really does. But of course, like we said before, round 5, it's the strangest round of Swiss where it feels like anything can happen. Some players stand up, some players completely crumble, but if we're going to go off what we have seen so far from the Tokyo Tigers, they've gotten better and better every single series they have played so far. From, let's be honest here, getting thrashed by Gentlemates in the first series to having a disappointing performance versus Milkadrongan in the next series, to then starting to pick up that pace a little bit versus Aspiros. The absolute masterclass we saw against Bills Balls, a side which I would say is a tougher side than I think a lot of people are going to give them credit for. But this full French roster looks to be the gatekeepers here for the main event, and I guess that is just the laws of Rocket League, that there's always a French player there ready to steal a spot away from you.
It seems to be the way of Rocket League at the moment. The French are just unstoppable. Hopefully not in this case. Hopefully the English and one Italian can overcome. But I think it's 2 Frenchmen, and I'm not sure. Is Garrick's French as well?
Yes, he is.
So
indeed.
the three Frenchmen that stand in front of them. So, oh, this the longer we're waiting for these guys to get in the game, the more the nerves are settling in. So, yeah, I wouldn't want to be the player.
And that's just here at the desk. I can only imagine how the players feel right now. Of course, Cash did technically announce his retirement, but Pluvo was one of those only players that was going to be able to drag him out of that position back into a team and competing. And apparently there is an issue at the moment. So admins are being called ahead of this next game. So just an extra bit of drama to add to the mix here, Cedric, and an extra bit of waiting time, which as a player myself, and by the way, like not a good player at all. I've played in a few community leagues. My least favorite part of a streamed match or an organized match was the waiting in the lobby before kickoff. The absolute worst part. I'd be completely fine during the scrim. I'd be fine in VC with my team, but once you're actually, waiting for that match to start, it does something different to you. So hopefully we can get onto the pitch as quickly as possible. And when that does happen, let's just hope that the Tigers are at their best.
We can only hope. But if it's anything like last series, I'm pretty hopeful. They definitely turned up last series in comparison to the rest of the day. So hopefully this upwards trajectory keeps going up. That's all I hope for. Because it would be a very unfortunate way not to make it. If they were to make all the effort to get to round 5, to then lose to the French, who always just seem to be beating everybody.
Familiar.
So
Too familiar with those round 5 storylines as well. Of course, it could be worse though. I mean, we saw what happened to Paul Wild last split. I mean, that was pretty mental to have 3 opens and 3 day 3s where they went to round 5 and couldn't quite make top 16. But our focuses aren't on them at the moment. It's on our 3 wonderful players of the Tokyo Tigers. Grammar and Pluvo, the dynamic duo, reunited here back in the RLCS, the duo that managed to make a top 16 in Open 2 of RLCS 2024 with one of the legends of the game and English Rocket League, Tokyo Tigers, the final stand in the Swiss stage.
here we go then. Time to give it absolutely everything to make it to that main event so that we can be back next Friday. Fingers crossed. All going well. Pluvo now trying to get it over Mako. It is going to head towards the net. Cash to follow up. Gets a very soft shot on target. Probably not what he was hoping for. Grammar sees Cash over there. Trying to find him as a miss comes out of Mako. Grammar still on the ball. Fakes it for Pluvo. Pluvo gets an opportunity. And that is a perfect start. And there you can see Stel at the bottom of your screen celebrating. I think Stel might be the most animated character over the 3 that you have on screen, which is why we've moved him into that camera slot instead of Grammar looking the same old all day.
Yeah, so certainly more animated than Grammar. Just about. But Mako there, quick on the response with the... Oh, I love having Salios on screen. Mako, this is a big grinder here, of course. We've seen huge improvements from him in the 3v3 scene. He's played in as many competitions as he can. He was the imports player in a few Benelux rosters as well. I've actually casted him underneath Godallions. He's also played a few 1v1 show matches in his time, and I'm sure a bunch more French tournaments as well. If Grind was a player, Mako would be that embodiment of it, and it's no surprise here that he was the one to make the big starts here for Cloud Esports. Tokyo Tigers, though, seen all these positions before earlier in this Swiss stage, but I'm not sure if they quite had that much pressure behind them. Pluvo, though, looks to drag it alone. That's a double commit coming from Cloud Esports. Cash looking to pounce on what would have been quite a wary defense there for Cloud on that back wall. Grammar's fought his way through. There's a bit of an opening, but this one just tips its way wide. And these are the momentum building opportunities that we want the Tigers to have. It's not just about those goals. It's about getting yourself forward and confidence.
forward and confident is where Tokyo Tigers do need to be. And pressure kind of switching, chopping and changing between these two sides. Mako is going to carry it over Pluvo. Grammar is there. There was an instant response earlier on in the game from this Cloud Esports side. It isn't what this Tokyo Tigers team would have been hoping for, but there's been no goals since then, as Pluvo is going to go for a double tap. Ever is there on the backboard to make sure that doesn't happen. Grammar is going to send it back down to Cash on the backboard. Cash looking for a pass down the middle, but I don't think there was faith in that making it through the 2 or 3 players that were waiting below.
Absolutely not. Mako looking to show some of that individual talent. He is one of the more mechanical players you will see on the pitch, and he likes to go for them a lot as well. He's not one of those that keeps it hidden. He lets it be known to his opponents. It can act as that fear factor. You do have to give him a little bit of that extra respect in the air, but when you look at the side of Tokyo Tigers, I mean, you're saying the exact same thing here for the likes of Pluvo, for example, who unfortunately has been caught off guard on his own lines, and Cloud Esports will take a very easy second goal. A quick pounce here, off one heavy touch, and a backflip from the Magician.
And that was not a very magical play that we usually see from, as you call him, the Magician. But if I know Pluvo, he will bounce back, he will regain as Grammar goes for a flip reset. A little bit more scoop, that would have found its way into the top corner, as Ever has no boost to follow this. Cash sees Grammar on the wall. Grammar is going to go for a double. Slapped away by Mako. Seems to be the man of the moment for this side of Cloud Esports, as Mako again, just as I was saying, gets a shot on target. He's going to look down forever.
Oh, that's a scary opportunity. It's a good infield pass there from Everino, and Skyrix will complete this combination. And one sole Pluvo isn't going to be enough there in that 1v2 opportunity. Cloud Esports do double their lead, but with 90 seconds left on the clock, this is very much a chaseable game. We saw how much offense Tokyo Tigers could create a little bit earlier in this first game, but as it has progressed, Cloud Esports have been able to stamp a bit more authority. The team that were coming from the higher brackets of the Swiss here to this 2-2 position looks to show why they have earned themselves that higher seeded spots. I had their criticisms of their performance in the match they'd played there before, but they're here with a vengeance, trying to stop the Tigers, but the Tigers will not let on.
I know, and then when you see how much that goal meant, especially to Stelios at the bottom. I love having him on the cameras. Coach Stelios, for those who don't know, yes, he's not on the field, but he is in their ears, in between goals, in between games. Just, you know, making sure they're in the right headspace. And, again, here we see Cash on the offensive with Tokyo Tigers. Instantly back on with the pressure. Levo manages to win the boost. Skyrix's shot saved by Everino, but I think it was covered anyway.
Yeah, I think it was regardless, but it will still have its slight mental effect. Everino looking to recover off that and actually put the ball in the back of the net. There was a lovely block there from one of our defenders to keep this one out. There's a demo there on the final lines where Everino's knocked out. There's zero boost on that final defender, but Skyrix last-ditch effort keeps that one out, and it could be crucial. That could have been the last opportunity. Grammar says no, getting that ball right back into the mixer. Pluvo will keep the pressure coming. Demos again. Come on the buzzer. Grammar can't get it through, but this is a huge bunch up in the corner. If someone could get a touch, maybe there's a chance. Unfortunately not. Game one falls towards Cloud Esports, but it was a good start. It was a better finish. I think it was just a little bit of a shaky middle ground there to fix. I feel like not too much could be taken out of that first game. I think we're going to see a very, very different second. Cloud Esports showed a lot of that offensive presence, certainly, that bit of mechanics and some of those passes as well, coming from the likes of Skytrix, I want to say, who had a Skyrix, sorry, who had a really, really good opening game. But once the Tokyo Tigers get used to what is, in essence, a very different play style to Bill's Balls like we saw in the series before, this does feel extremely winnable. Big start here coming from Cash. Everino, though, getting a lovely first touch to try and carry this one towards the corner. Might also find themselves in the overlap. Grammar stops it. Cash is just going to waste some time there for his teammate to respawn. Grammar back on the pitch. Hits this one high. There was no player there from Cloud to punish, so it's just going to be a Tiger to just tap this one forward and waste some more time. That's not a great flip there coming from Pluvo, and that's going to lead Cash to have to dive himself behind. There was a little bit of uncertainty coming out of that one play, but ultimately 0-0 as it stands. Still a lot more to improve on, but still extremely achievable.
Absolutely extremely achievable. I've seen a lot of the pressure has come from Cloud Esports, which I've just realised on the overlay, it's Cloud Esports apparently. But Cash now has a little bit of an opportunity for a goal, but can't quite find it past the player. Skyrix again onto the crossbar. I'm not really sure what's going on in the defence of Cloud Esports. His Grammar is going to open up the scoring for Tokyo Tigers. Only took 1 minute and 20 seconds, but I don't know what was going on in the defence of Cloud Esports, but whatever it was not good.
Let's hope that Cloud Esports is a rainy, gloomy cloud at the moment after that play. That was a depressing one to watch. And the Zap Dash demo there from from Grammar as well, I believe, actually helped open up that space for the final shot. A nice way to get the opener across. Everino, that's a lovely recovery to get a second touch, but just wasn't communicated well enough with a teammate. So instead, it is just going to have to be Everino committing early. Pluvo with the musty setup. That's a double commit. Who's there? Why is there no one?
That is
an opportunity there missed by the Tigers.
I don't know how nobody was there to follow that one up. Where was the third man? Where did they go? And yeah, it seems like an opportunity missed there for the Tokyo Tigers. Hopefully it doesn't come back to haunt them in come the end of this game. 3 minutes left on the clock now. Still seeing a lot of aggression from this Tokyo Tigers side. Need to make sure they're not getting too carried away. They can't afford some cheap goals from Cloud Esports, as Cash is doing very well to keep this ball in the opposition's half.
I think one positive you can see coming out of this, especially with the amount of pressure that Tokyo Tigers have been able to give themselves as field domination overall, is that if a mistake is formed from Cloud Esports, it will lead them to concede. If Tokyo Tigers are to make a mistake, all it does is waste an opportunity. Cloud Esports definitely getting the brunt end of the stick. Great bump yet again, and it's these physical plays that have proven so important for Tokyo Tigers in this second game. This time, it was Pluvo yet again, just being that bumping option. It was a demo beforehand. This time, Mako staying within the confines of the pitch, forced to watch as that one entered the back of his own net. And what a step up in performance this has been from the Tigers.
It's going to be dangerous again for this Cloud Esports side. As it seems like they're getting muddled up. Maybe muddled up in communications here. I can't really tell. It's not the first time we've seen something like that come out of their side, but it seems they have it recovered. Let's Pluvo going to place it on the backboard. No one's challenging him. He's got a little bit of time in the air. Going to fake the reset.
Oh, go on.
Cash doesn't quite find the angle.
Unlucky.
It is very unlucky. But they are doing very well to not allow this Cloud Esports team to put any pressure on them. At least for the last minute or so. They haven't really had any troubling efforts on their net.
Ooh, there's another one again here for Cloud Esports. They really haven't had much in this second game. When I say again, that's, thinking back to that first game where they felt like they had much more of just an overall presence, not even just defensively, even defensively. Cloud Esports have looked weak. I feel like this is not really something you'd come to expect here from a team in round 5, unless, unfortunately, Cedric, those nerves start to become a factor. Oh, what a lovely drag there from Grammar to try and progress the play. That could have been something special, but I mean, it's hard to comment on the mentality of players and how they're doing when you can't see their player cams like we can do with the Tigers and, of course, their mental coach behind them. But if I were to make an assessment of this gameplay so far here from Cloud in this second game, they seem rattled. There's so many mistakes defensively. There's so many double and even triple commits in certain instances that leave them so susceptible. But once they are in offense, they can be dangerous. But they can't transition because of all these wasteful touches they're getting. They'll need to step it up. Otherwise, this is going to be Tokyo Tigers with another Game 4 victory.
It is looking that way as Cash tries to get last minute shot. That's all that was needed. A 50 to the ground. Tokyo Tigers with the win. And there they are again. This is a new view. Wow. We haven't seen it this stream. But there they are at the top. You can see Stell whispering sweet nothings, like I said earlier. There he is. Yeah. But yeah, there's the team. All look relaxed. Oh, but that was a very reassuring performance from this Tokyo Tigers roster, don't you think?
I really do. I really do. And I love seeing how calm they look after that win as well. But again, it's not overconfidence. It's not arrogance. I know that was one of Grammar's old teams, but this is a different circumstance. This is a different aggression you want to see behind a team named after a tiger. This isn't a low block anymore either. It's very offensive. It's very forward focused. And it's about just whittling those defenses down for all the boost they've got. Finding those openings, forcing mistakes. Skyrix looking to create one. Tokyo Tigers do well to stay composed.
They do so well to stay composed, and that's what they need in this round 5 of Swiss is composure, which they seem to have the edge on compared to this Cloud Esport roster. As you saw in that last game, a few moments of almost lackluster from this Cloud Esports team, but what they're not very good at, we are going to absolutely take advantage of it, as Cash is looking to get a long-range goal over the head of Skyrix, but not this time.
Pluvo sneaks it under Everino. That slight touch, however, will cause a disruption to that attack. You can see those bumps attempted. You see the high press there. Looks to be initiated by the Tokyo Tigers. And just when we thought we were victims to a 1v2, all of a sudden, we're the scoring roster, and the cannon takes the lead for Tokyo Tigers. Where did this come from?
Just no challenge from anyone on the Cloud Esports. It almost looked like they weren't expecting the cannon Cash to be there just to start that one away. I think they were maybe caught off guard, and now the nerves are really going to set in for this Cloud Esports side. We've already seen it starting to make a little bit of an effect as Pluvo is going to fake that for a double, but that is a magnificent save from Ever. Pluvo trying to get a little boost still, a little bit cheeky. Dema does beat one, is going to pre-flip, looks for the shot on net, and he gets it. That somehow sneaked in. Almost.
My goodness.
Almost a magnificent save there from Ever, but it was just a little bit too far.
What on earth is that slot? He'd already used this flip as well. How'd he generate that much power? That's what you get from the car of the Stallion. Trampling over the defense of Cloud Esports. And this is the Tigers we wanted to see in round 5, and all the pressure should, in theory, be against them. Big demo from Pluvo. Yet again, that has become characteristic of his playstyle now. Super mechanical, but off the ball, he'll keep it simple and just wipe you off the pitch.
Yeah, and that is not what you want at this stage. If you are Cloud Esports, you need all the power you can get. Backing up, especially in defense, as Pluvo is going to try and get a shot on net. Challenge that defense, but defense are standing strong as he gets a double demo. This should open up some kind of opportunity here, as they all have spawned in the same corner, which is not ideal for Cloud Esports. As Ever's like, no, Mako, this is my ball, but he's going to fall for Grammar, who is going to go for the double tap.
Oh!
And this is the Grammar we've seen.
Having.
He is having an absolutely magnificent game. And like I said earlier, if he wants the ball on that backboard, he's going to get it on that backboard. It's the exact spot that he wants it almost every time.
My goodness, someone in chat said grammar for Prime Minister. He's got my vote after that goal. I don't think I've seen my PM score a double tap like that before. Pluvo vote, looking to catch this one right round. Nice bump for one of the players yet again, and he's just such a nuisance. And I feel like that's causing a lot more of a panic, which Cloud Esports has already had in this series. It's making those cracks just that bit wider. They've been able to take full advantage. Pluvo up, just tap that one home. Double commit there coming from 2-0 boost defenders there of Cloud Esports, but eventually they are able to recover, and it feels like the Tigers are having a little bit of fun with him. They've just been passing it around. There's been moments of this game where I don't know if we're casting 3v3 standard or knockout with the amount of random demos I'm seeing across the pitch. Here's another bump, just for good measure. Not the greatest of touches here by Cash, but it doesn't matter because Pluvo will just come down off the ceiling. I mean, what is this? This is not Rocket League. This is a new edition. Is this that UE5 everyone was excited for?
It just seems like Tokyo Tigers are just trying to waste a little bit of time just to keep hold of their 3-0 lead as it stands. As ever, it's a little bit awkward in goal. Grammar is going to put it on the backboard. Pluvo again with that aggressive style with those demos, which seems to be working an absolute treat against this Cloud Esports team. Which is probably why we've seen quite a few of those demos come out. And there's another one, which is going to open up an open net, but Grammar doesn't quite find the open net.
What am I watching? I mean, Tokyo Tigers are just having fun with him. That's a lovely drop down pass, and Cloud Esports, I'm not even sure if they've left their box for quite some time. This is, I think we can say with very full confidence, Cedric, this is the most dominant performance of the day. I didn't watch day 2, but this looks like it would, you know, be a day 2 match, frankly, with how easy they have found this game 3. What a way for the Tigers to potentially put themselves on match point. Of course, there is still time left on the clock, and there is, of course, still full potential for Cloud Esports to make a comeback in the series. Stelios telling the players there, don't let that one get you down. It doesn't matter. You're better than them. You've proven that already. Just get this job done. Hold down for 21 seconds.
And it is just a matter of getting the job done. Doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you do it. And so far, so good. 15 seconds left to go. Cash looking for a block. It's going to fall for Pluvo.
Oh.
And that will be the one to put this game to bed. With 13 seconds left to play. It must be in very good spirits. Feeling good. I'm sure they can feel the top 16 calling their name at this point.
Oh, I don't want to call it. I get scared to call it so early. I get so scared.
I'm not saying I'm calling it, but they must, you know, they might feel like it's calling their name.
Absolutely, again, and I feel
Rocket
like
League.
Yeah,
Anything can happen.
I wonder what Celios's approach will be here with the players. Does he tell them that, you know, that their name is written in the European top 16, or does he tell them that it's not the case yet? You've still got more work to be done. That's, you know, one of those push and pulls of the mental sides of the game that you've got to balance here. Do you want that full confidence, or do you want to stay them locked, professional like they have been before? It's a hard balance to find, but looking at the smiles we saw between games quickly turn into those neutral, calm faces, I think Stel's got a perfect balance of both. Look at that smile. My goodness. Enough to make anyone with a bad day have a great one, and hopefully enough to see these three return to the main event. We all want it. We'd all love to see it. I think as well, even if you're not a fan of the RAF Storm Shadows, if you're not a Tokyo Tigers fan, if you're not even particularly a fan of English Rocket League, I feel like Rocket League as a whole wants to see a legend of the game Cash back into the main event.
Of course, who doesn't? It's always the same with these old school players. Like, everybody just wants to see them return back in the main event, see them on the streams. And Cash is one of those with quite a big fan base, I'd say.
Yeah. I mean, he's one of those players that has a personality, and usually when you say a pro player has a personality, that's usually quite a negative connotation, but not with Cash. He's one of the soundest pros you ever will see in the Rocket League scene. And it's why we're so happy to back him. Why we hope everyone else in chat will be as well. Game 4. Will this be the final one? Will this be the moment that Tokyo Tigers secure their place in the main event? Or will Cloud Esports have something to say?
Well, we're about to find out in the next 4.5 minutes, Pegasus. As Cash is trying to find something out of that corner. Doesn't quite come off for him. As ever. Gonna get it as far as Grammar. He gets the perfectly timed ceiling pinch. Cash now. Can't quite block the pass, and Mako will open up the scoring, and it will be for Cloud Esports.
Well, it's not the team you wanted to score. It's an astounding play there between Skyrix and Mako. And that's a lot more reminiscent of what we saw a little bit earlier in this series, that game 1, where it felt like Cloud Esports. The one thing they really had in their favour were those combinatory plays. And those little mechanical showings there from Mako as well. There's a team bump there between Skyrix and Everino, just as you want to compliment them on their chemistry. Falls apart a little bit in offense, and, well, defense is definitely where Cloud Esports are at their weakest. So we'll hope that the Tigers can continue to hold on to that forward pressure. You want them to be that offensive team. There are some, like the likes of NRG, that would like to sit back and just go for those counterattacks. It just does not feel like that is the way of the Tigers when you're facing Cloud Esports.
There has been, especially last game, a very dominant performance from this Tokyo Tigers side. Just need to carry it on into this game at number 4. And worst case scenario, into game number 5. Cash on his own, on the backboard. Going to get a pinch. Whoever beats him out, it's going to fall back to Cash. Does get a shot on net. A lovely touch from Ever. Saves him from any danger, but the danger almost did come in the end.
Oh, Cash, what can he do here? He was just a little tester shot there against Cloud Esports. They did well to hold on. A fake showing itself from Everino. A hop, skip, and a jump. Trying to find the middle of the pitch and his teammates. Doesn't quite come together, but again, this is a very different Cloud to what we saw in the game before. You'll still need the very best of the Tokyo Tigers, and you're hoping that those, albeit moments of calm in the later stages of Game 3, don't trickle too far into this 4th. They do sit behind. We do enter that second half now of this 4th game. Match point still with the Tigers, but they could concede that to Cloud and, of course, put themselves in a scary Game 5.
And I hope it's not a scary Game 5. I hope it is closed out in this game. As Cash trying to do it on his own. And he goes as far as Skyrix. But it is going to fall to Grammar. Doesn't quite get it past Mako. He's been a little bit of a brick in defense this game so far. Grammar again. Can he find Skyrix on the goal line? It is looking positive with the pressure coming from Tokyo Tigers as it stands. Evo sees Cash. Gonna try and snipe him. Cash off the ceiling. Skyrix again. They're waiting for the ball. Grammar decides to back out of that aerial. Notices it wasn't the right time as Pluvo is going to fake the first.
Here we go.
I thought that was going to be the opener for Tokyo Tigers, but it was not to be. How about now, though? Pluvo off the bar and saved.
Oh, what a save by Everino. It's a heartbreaker. There was 2 opportunities there for Pluvo. Well, you would back him. The first one, of course, being tougher than the second. But still, positives here for Tokyo Tigers. I'm loving the patience of the third man. Sitting back just enough that if there's a long ball forward, they'll still be able to stay involved. But high enough that they can pounce should there be an opening ahead of them. And here's Grammar. Goal needed. Looking to sneak it under. There's a double commit. And that's the back foot of Pluvo. And that's where you'd say that chance has slipped away. And they're back to square one in trying to reinitiate pressure. Pluvo off the ceiling, has 2 players ahead of them. That's going to be a tough read here for the Cloud Esports defenders. And a double commit. Sees those communications go awry yet again. Big clearance there from Skyrix. And it was a perfect touch that Cloud Esports needed. The Tokyo Tigers are not done yet. Still a game on the knife edge. 18 seconds. Double tap for Pluvo. How about a triple? Saved by Everino. And Grammar has to keep things flowing. Demo on the first man. The second and third await. Where are those of Tokyo Tigers? Pluvo doesn't get a bump. Cast back to Grammar. And you start to see this attack fizzle out. And the opportunities for game 5 have increased. But hold on a minute. Last stand for Cash. Grammar can't reach. We're going to 5.
Oh, and I really didn't want to have to go to 5, Pegasus. A 1-0 victory for Cloud Esport. It's not what we were hoping for. They looked very solid in defense. Again, it's not what we were hoping for. But it's great entertainment. So I can't complain. Let's just hope it ends in the right direction.
And I feel like the end of that game was in the right direction. The momentum was there with the Tokyo Tigers. They just were not able to finish their chances. We start to see the nerves there return for Cloud Esports. We started to see some of those mistakes start to rear its head in, and I do just want to quickly thank Months for the raids here. I believe that was coming from 100%. So thank you very much to the 100% team stream for joining us here and seeing if in game 5 Cash will be returning to the European main event, alongside, of course, the dynamic duo of the Magician Pluvo and the Stallion that is Grammar. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. A French team awaits the gatekeepers of the main event. Isn't that a story we've heard all too many times before? Former Celestial took down Pluvo in Split 1. A chance for revenge, and we have kickoff.
Here we go then. Dreaded game 5, round 5, where we've been so many times before. So familiar with Pluvo and Grammar especially. Both have seen this phase of the tournament on numerous occasions. Hopefully it's time for change as Pluvo is going to try and get that ball forward. Can't get it past the defense. As Grammar makes a big mistake. Luckily the shot wasn't dangerous enough to trouble Cash at the back. Grammar again respawns in the back left corner. Pluvo gets a 50. Not a great one. This could be dangerous. It's safe to say Cloud Esports have come out pretty darn hot.
Yes, unfortunately that has been the case here. We speak about round 5 being the Twilight Zone. How about round 5, game 5? Do any of the matches before even matter up to this point? It's going to be Cash with the hit forward. That one not going to be on target either way. Skyrix had that one completely covered. We know how much Pluvo likes to hunt for those bumps. So when he is that first man, you know he's going to be looking for that little bit of afters. That's a demo against Cash. Skyrix will knock it high over the first player. Pluvo wants to get that read. That's dangerous, but Cash still able to keep it out. How's your bottle? How is your ice? Can you keep yourself together? 3 minutes and 30 left of this game 5. We are goalless, but Skyrix looking to change that. Cash with the save. There's 2 players looming for the follow-up. It's wide from Mako. Everino wants that first touch, but there's not enough space there for him to take the dribble.
And it's been a very nervy start from both sides there. Like, that probably should have been a goal for this Cloud Esports team. And they do get the opener, and it has been coming. 1-0 now to Cloud Esports, and that is not the start that Tokyo Tigers would have been hoping for.
Everino just taking that ball over there. You just don't know who to focus on as the defender. And he was caught a little bit by surprise there, Pluvo, as that final man. And Cloud Esports get that lead. And that's a huge mistake from Cash. Pluvo able to make that save. Big sidewall coming out of Cash in recovery, however. Pluvo didn't get the bounce he wanted either. It feels like things just seemingly not tipping their way at the moment, but you've got to create your own destiny, open up the space. I love that from Grammar. It's a low boost from Cash, but I'm not sure if the defenders know that. Mako forced to commit early. Pluvo pounces in the corner, and now it's Skyrix on top of that ball. More awkward than I think he was anticipating. Grammar off the ceiling, finds Mako at that near post. But now it's Cash, the cannon, looking to find a little bit of space. Skyrix gets the save, almost ended up with the own goal as well. But it's just a little glimmer of hope here for Tokyo Tigers.
And let's hope it's not a repeat of last game, where Cloud kept Tokyo Tigers goalless. The chances are coming thick and fast for this Tokyo Tigers side. Ash now looking for a mid pass. This could be good, and it is good.
Oh!
Pluvo.
Pluvo!
What a finish, and what a pass from Cash. That came in so quick. Skyrix had no idea where that ball was going.
Nightbot, go away. Have all the caps in the world. Be excited. Because Pluvo has brought that momentum back. And oh, what a lovely touch this is. Will it go all the way for Cash? Saved here by Mako. And immediately off the kickoff, we do see that confidence increase here from the Tokyo Tigers. Cash in possession. There's two on our backboard. They've made a mistake. It's Grammar. Lead back to the Tigers. The Stallion fights back, looking to return to those top 16 pedigrees. 100 seconds to be the difference. Will Tokyo Tigers hold on?
It's almost like it came out of nowhere. The sudden switch in pressure. Almost like the nerves since that first goal from Tokyo Tigers has hit the side of Cloud Esport, as the pressure once again is on the orange side of the field. Cash looking for a... Oh, I thought he was going to go for a sidewall, but Lady thought Mako was getting that ball. As Grammar is going to make his way down the field. Looking for them bumps to disturb that passage of play. Cash looking for a mechanical play that we know he is more than capable of. Luvo now looking to find a dangerous pass. But here's Cash again, looking for a block, gets it under!
Oh! And you see the excitement on the cams. Is this the moment from the jaws of retirement? Will the cannon return to the European top 16? The matters in his own hands. 2 goals in favour. 59 seconds, kickoff strat attempted. And Cloud Esports looking to respond. Pluvo as well. This is a mental barrier for him. He hasn't been able to break in quite some time. English Rocket League. You have the Tokyo Tigers on your back. Grammar helping to get that job done as well. It's back to Cash. Great control, no reset. But has the defense fooled? 30 more seconds. You see the yellow text on the screen. Do you feel any more confident, ladies and gentlemen? Or can you feel that pressure start to rise? Heartbeats pumping. Hands shaking, but the Tigers must keep composure.
And they're looking very composed. 8 seconds left to go. It must be all but over unless Cloud Esports can find something, which they can't. You can see Estelle, hands over eyes. They've done it. Tokyo Tigers make top 16 next weekend. Wow.
Oh my goodness. And you can feel the nation come to a stop. The past, now the present. The future, now the present. Cash and Pluvo have done it. With the help of the experienced Grammar as well, with the splits he has managed to have ever since he last teamed with Pluvo in Split 1 of RLCS 2024. The storyline has come full circle. And in round 5, Game 5, the Tokyo Tigers secure their spot in main event.
In the most Pluvo-like fashion, it has to be in Game 5, Round 5. But I guess we'll see you on Friday, guys, because we've made it.
I'm lost for words, Cedric. I am really lost for words. It is rare that I, as a caster, as a professional yapper, as they do say in the scene, am lost for things to say here. But the gameplay spoke for itself. If you saw the progression of this team from the beginning of today to the end, it just goes to show you that this is a team worthy of this position. A team that's able to get themselves out of the mud and compete against some of the very best that the world of Rocket League has to offer. And of course, that means we do have to give some love to the mental coach Stelios for bringing this team together throughout this experience. Because my goodness, without that, who knows if we would have gotten this far. We do see Cash in chat. Cash, congratulations. It's great to see you back, old friend.
So I've just had a word from Stelios. Does everyone want an interview from Pluvo?
Oh, go on then. Oh, come on.
Bring him in, Stel. Drag him in.
There should be no zero.
Drag him in.
No no's in chat.
I'll let you run with this one, Pegasus. So, yeah, I think he's been dragged in now.
I think he's here. Pluvo.
Hello.
Well. It is an absolute pleasure to again be casting a team stream for you where you were able to go all the way and make the main event. And just, we'll start it off simple. Before we get in deep, how does it feel?
Oh, it's just a stress. I'm sorry. I forgot to mute in TeamSpeak. This is awful. It's the most, it was the most stressful thing ever. Like, I think I've gone through literally from, the lowest lows to the highest highs today. But, I mean, I think, speaking on behalf of everyone, it just shows how good of an environment we have and, how just how strong we are mentally. This is probably the strongest mental I've had in the team, the strongest collectively I've had for my whole career. So I mean, to do something like that as well, which kind of shows it, is just cherry on top,
And well, you spoke about that mental factor. It's been a big topic of conversation today here on the broadcast because, of course, you do have that mental coach behind you. That is, of course, qualified. It is Stelios that helped lead you through the day. And if we're being completely honest with ourselves, Pluvo, it was a day that got better and better and better from what wasn't the best of starts. Can you please talk about how that mental factor and having Stelios behind you as well helped contribute to a reverse Swiss?
I think to have Stel behind us, I think we've gone for a route that not many teams do. I think it's a very what's the word? It's a niche that we've gone for with our team. I think we've kind of trusted our ability to coach us through, and then we added Stel on, which just I feel like he needs to hear it, and he does a lot for us that obviously doesn't go unnoticed. I think he needs to take a lot more credit than he does. But he keeps our head above water, and yeah, I think it's just such a bonus to have someone there that almost feels like he's taking the pressure off your shoulders. It almost, as soon as he says something, it's like Stel's taking that onto his shoulders. We reset, it could be 2-0, but in our minds it's 0-0. It's such a big bonus to have for me and the boys.
Look at his little face.
And I do want to move the questions over to easily the most experienced man on the roster. World Championship appearances, major appearances, grand finals in his history, and one of the greatest talents that England has ever put together. The Cannon, Cash, welcome back to the European Top 16. And again, the same opening question for you. How does it feel at the moment?
It feels great. Obviously, I've been great friends with Pluvo for a very long time, and I said to him, if I come out of retirement, I promise you a main event. So I'm glad I can at least stick to my word. Yeah.
And of course, you did allude to it. There was a retirement that was announced that looked to see what I would have called an early end to a fantastic career you have had so far. And this has only just gone to prove it with you coming out. How has it been having that complete mentality shift from thinking, okay, this is it, I'm done, I'm happy with where I've left my mark in Rocket League, in the RLCS, to coming back, joining this roster, and ultimately returning back to your former glory?
Well, it's been hard, to be honest. I didn't really expect Pluvo to sweet talk me while we were in Birmingham, but I mean, I couldn't ask for a better group of people to be around. I knew these guys are very inexperienced. They deserve to be at the top. They're all capable of it. So for me, I guess I'm just trying to be like the Master Uruguay of the team and guide them to to the top of the mountain where they belong.
One sec.
And you are the experienced player, like you alluded to there. I mentioned you as one of my final calls. You were the past of British Rocket League turned to present again. Pluvo, the future turned to present. How does that feel, bringing up some young talents like the like of Grammar and, of course, like the like of Pluvo as well?
Well, to be honest, I don't really want to take any credit for it because I'm just a teammate. They've been this good for such a long time. They just haven't had that ice factor in the team. So credit to them for performing the way they did today, despite such a rough start that we had. Being able to have the mental fortitude to bounce back and stay positive throughout it all. That's not a lot of rookies have the ability to do that.
And Pluvo, this has been a long road for you. Of course, I was there for Team Hosky during Open 2 of RLCS 2024, where alongside Grammar and Ethan, you masterfully made the main event and the Magician truly got himself onto that big stage. But it hasn't been very easy since. You have come close on a few occasions, one of which mentioned on broadcast being an unfortunate round 5 loss to Celesao in Split 1. How does it feel to finally get to feel this feeling again?
I think it's, yeah. I mean, it's just, it still feels like the first time. I think it's been so long, and I don't think I've really stopped pushing myself since. So it's nice to finally get rewarded, find 2 players and a good team environment within Stelios and even Dega, the manager, where like all of us collectively can be rewarded as well. Like we've put in so much hard work, but it just feels really good to like be back where I feel like I should be, and I just need to now keep at this level and go beyond.
Absolutely, and you did have that bit of a break from your teammate Grammar, did fantastic things, of course, with the likes of Low Block and Arrogance. What was it like getting the boys back in town, let's just say?
It feels like we've never left. Like, I think chemistry-wise, on and off the field, it doesn't feel like we ever stopped teaming. I think even Grammar would say like we stayed friends the whole time. The vibes were always good if we ever met each other at any point. I mean, and it also helps having that experience with each other previously, that we kind of know each other's habits already. And it's also nice. It was one thing we said together when we first went LF1 before we decided to go with Cash, was that I actually forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I had a banger answer then. I forgot. We just it's nice to, that's it. Yeah, it was nice to see us grow as players, and as people as well, coming back together. The change from when we obviously made main event with Hosky and Ethan last season to now, it's really nice, and it's quite wholesome to see.
Well, to the Cannon Cash, the Magician Pluvo, and of course the Stallion Grammar, we congratulate you all for making the main event. But before I leave the mic back to Cedric, I've got one final burning question. And Cedric, can you move the cameras onto the players and the coach? Because this one's important. It's the one everyone in chat has been waiting for. Pluvo, it's on you, my friend. What were you eating between Series 3 and 4? Because it looked lovely. I mean, every time we looked at your camera between games, you were just stuffing your face. What was it?
It was a... I had such a tiny inkling someone was going to ask this question. No, for anyone that knows my mum, she's a great cook. She made a sausage casserole in the slow cooker. And obviously I just have to eat dinner when everyone else eats dinner, so I had it brought up to me, and I thought I'm just going to eat it mid-series because I don't want it to get cold, because then it's not as nice. That's so funny.
Thank you very much, and again, that's all from me from the interview period. Congratulations to every player, and pass that on to Grammar as well, please.
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
I just have one more question for someone who hasn't been asked a question so far, and it is to Coach Stelios. Welcome to the interview room. First of all, congratulations on 100% main event rate so far. 1 out of 1. How are you feeling?
Bro, oh my god, what a day. I can't even begin to explain how, I could honestly cry right now, I'll be honest. it's been a roller coaster. The team, I mean, I can't take any credit. It's literally the greatest team environment I've ever been in my life, and I've played football for 20 years at a fairly decent level. And so to see, at this level of esports, that kind of team environment and the work ethic these guys put in, I mean, A, it shows me that I was delusional to think I'll ever be a pro player in esports, and B, it just fills me with so much admiration for these guys, and they work so hard. And today was a roller coaster. So, to get through to the end of it, we had to make so many adaptations mentally, and from an in-game perspective as well. And we did it, and they made the changes. We put the adaptations in place, and we got through. It was a reverse sweep in the Swiss, and it was just quite honestly the most phenomenal thing I've ever been a part of, and I consider it a privilege to be part of this team. And thank you to them as well for taking such a risk with going for a mental coach this split, and seemingly now it's paid off. But I can't take any credit for it. It literally is all these guys. I mean, it's been Cash, it's been Pluvo, and of course we can't forget Grammar, the ice cold Italian. Yeah, it's been nothing but a privilege from me, Cedric.
Amazing. Well, one last thing. Can we get a Stelios Sui to end off the stream?
Ooh, let's go, boys!
There we are.
Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully we'll see you all on Friday when we'll be back with the main event for Tokyo Tigers. See you later, everybody.